All right, today we have Tyler and Chaydie Zimmerman. We've been friends for, I think, 10 or more years. And I look up to you guys, so I brought you on to talk at the beginning more about like relationships as I move on in life and I'm going to get married and have kids. I want to learn from you guys, and you guys have this worksheet that you guys go through. And then later on, we'll dive deeper into business stuff and personal goals. And this is also around January 1st and the new year. So we're going to talk about personal goals and relationship goals and those kind of things that you guys have. And hopefully I learn and anyone who listens learns. Yeah. So if you want to dive deeper into this Living with Intentions worksheet that you guys put together, and we'll go from there.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, nice to know you for like 10 years, Isaac. Always pushing me harder. First off, it was like the gym and sports. So it's good to see you get married and moving up in life.
That's right.
So yeah, but as far as living with intentions, life happens, so you might as well live with intentions because it's going to be hard either way. So if you're living life without intentions, life's going to happen. And if you have a plan with your wife or your family, it's much easier to go through when the hard times do hit. So this is something we've been married for 11 years, and it's something that didn't start on day one. We worked hard together on it, and Chaydie's kind of the brains behind it, and then we get together 4 times a year. And we look at it, I think once a year, it's kind of like you brush up on it, and then by halfway through the year, you forgot what your intentions were, your New Year goals. Like, a lot of people set New Year goals. So I like getting back on it about 4 times a year, and then we go normally for a date night or a weekend or 2-day getaway or something and spend some time together. So it's really nice. But yeah.
A couple things with this worksheet is I think we've been doing it for 3 years now, and I've noticed that it improves our communication. It keeps the criticism lighthearted. It's going to decrease arguments and regretful words because you know that date night is coming up. You know that weekend trip is coming up, and it's full of fun, and so that's where it keeps the criticism lighthearted. But it decreases the arguments because you can wait until you have that uninterrupted time with your spouse, and you're doing it out of love. You remember that this is why you're working together as a team, because who wants to be miserable in life? You want to be happy, you want to have joy, and this, I think, just helps us keep everything organized and live with intention.
Yeah, I think nowadays with marriage, there's definitely something missing. I think obviously probably God as a center is what's missing mainly, but even having things where you can sit down and talk about things, because if you just push it off, eventually you never talk about it, and then you get in a fight and it's like, well, why didn't you do this? This is all talking. I'm obviously not married, but then you get in a fight and you're like, why haven't you been doing this or whatnot? And it's like, well, if you'd have listened to me say 3 months ago, and like this worksheet, or just even sitting down, because you guys have weekly stuff as well on here that you do, like that would help you.
Yes, it's mostly schedule, and then finance is weekly. Just make sure, hey, the budget's online. And then, of course, our schedules. We got 2 children, Zeke's 6 and Zamara's 2. And Zeke's in kindergarten, so like life changes so fast. Like 3 months ago, he wasn't in school. Now he's in school. So now there's a bus routine pickup, drop-off pickup, so there's so much more. Now he's gone for 8 hours a day for her, so she has more time with just Zamara. So that if you don't live with intentions and review that, like, it's just going to be like a mess when you hit that. But if you plan for it and like, hey, we know this is going to happen. Like, for instance, I did a marathon this summer, and then when we hit that August time, like the marathon was over. I did a triathlon after the marathon, and then it was August. And I says, you know what? I'm just not going to train as much, like, because I got to get him to the bus stop, or got to get him off the bus. Or I don't see him as much because my schedule's all over the place. Working in restaurant industry, we open at 6 a.m. We close at 9 p.m. So there's always times moving. Sometimes I got to work at night when he gets home. So I want to be there for him. I don't want to just be missing because of work, and then there's some fitness, but really want to get back in the goal of things of getting something on the calendar for an event, a race event or something like that, something that gets me back into the motivation. But sometimes as a family man, I never thought I would slow down, but sometimes as a family man, you have to put a few things on the back burner, but just don't forget about them. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to come back around. You know, if you're not married or you don't have any children, like I thought, yeah, I'll never change. You know, gym, I got up every day and went to the gym. Like, that was my thing. But now when you got kids in there, like, there's just 24 hours just shrink even more.
Yes, I think we should say, so you run a business
Yeah.
on top of being obviously a dad, and then you guys also have Airbnbs. And am I missing anything else?
I have the boutique right
Yeah,
now, and I
boutique.
was nursing at the beginning
Yep.
of our marriage.
Was a
and
nurse.
while our children.
I mean, still are, just don't
Yeah.
do it. And then, and then on top of that, fitness, those kind of
Right.
goals. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people make a lot of excuses when they don't have kids about why they can't do certain things. And I think you do a good job, even now. Like, yeah, your fitness stuff sometimes isn't, I guess, the top priority,
Right.
but you still are fit. Like,
Right.
you're not just letting that.
Yeah.
Letting
And
go.
I was thinking, like, oh, man, I haven't really been training a whole lot. And I'm like, you know what? 4 months ago, I ran a marathon. 2 months ago, I did a sprint triathlon. It was small, but I still did it.
Yep.
And I did two 5K races this year, you know, I was still very active. And it's a new season in our life. Hey, we got a kid going to school. Like, let's not mess this up because I'm got my head in the mud because I want to get that next PR or whatever. So, like, when you get a little bit older, I think, like, it's just, and, you know, as we talk about that, like, if we ever say, like, what would I have done when I was younger? Like, if you ask those types of questions, I'll go back to that. Like, I wish I would have lived life with more intentions. Like, I wish I would have done more fitness shows or, like, powerlifting shows or, like, just, like, I worked out for, like, 10 years, and I really never even had a whole lot of a plan. I just went to the gym. And, like, I feel like I could have done so much better with diet. And, like, I would just challenge somebody. I think you did a really nice job with that. I always looked up to you, like somebody that's working out, and they're so complete. Like, they got the schedule, they got the workout schedule, they got the diet, and so committed. Like, you really need all three of them to win, you know? So I felt like I did the workout to, like, the T, but, like, the diet wasn't really there and the scheduling wasn't really there. Just kind of woke up at 3 or 6 and went to the gym every day. At that time, I was working all second shift, so
Yeah,
I started
think
my day with
that,
gym.
it falls back on the intention. Like, the word intention is, you can do live with intention with every aspect of your life. 'Cause
Right.
if not, next thing
Yep.
you know, you're 40 years old
Right.
and you're like, where did time go?
Right.
But we were saying beforehand, what are the 3 things that lead to divorce? Finances?
So yeah, the top three reasons for divorce are finances, infidelity, and communication. But even with infidelity and finances and having those troubles, I think it still ties back to communication. It all starts at communication. And so for our worksheet that we have created, it ties in all areas of our life, I believe, to make sure we're on page with everything.
Yeah, definitely finances, I think, are a huge part. Because you hear some people that are like, they have separate bank accounts. Some people have bank accounts. Some people, like, whatever, wife, husband, one spends a lot more than the other. And then, or some people don't even know how much bills are.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it kind of blows your mind because I'm like, how are you in this together and you have no idea that your electric bill is $400 when, you know, like, if you got an expensive electric bill, you'd probably be like, why was it this high? But if you don't even know how much your electric bill costs, it's like, how do you even fix that
Yeah.
problem?
Yep.
Yeah, I would be willing to say that most people have no idea how much money they spend in a month.
We started every dollar
Yeah.
way before
Yes.
we started this. Too.
Yeah. So, like, living with intention, there's little pieces of life that came along. I remember getting married and, like, thinking, like, this is great. You graduated college, you had your RN degree, you got a job, and I was like, I'm gonna go out and buy this nice sports car. And first thing I ever put on payments that wasn't a house or a business. And so I was like, oh, we can buy that, we'll pay that off in no time. And then you got sick and we had medical bills, and I'm looking at how much I make and you make, and I'm like,
Where's your money?
how can we have debt? Like, it just blows my mind. And somehow I just fell across Every Dollar, Dave Ramsey app, and I just started using that. And one thing that I kind of look back on that is, I was like to my wife, Chaydie, I was like, we're doing the app. And she was like, okay. But she never really paid attention. I did it all. I did it all.
You did do all of our finances.
Yeah. And at the end of the month, she had no idea still what we were spending. So I think, like, what's got to change is after a while, I realized, like, hey, I'm going to make her do the budget because she had no idea what we were spending still. So she did the budget, and then I just helped do it. And now now she almost knows more that what we spend than I do, but I don't spend a whole lot of money.
And I'd be like, Tyler, we're spending like $500 going out to eat every month. Like, we need to do better. Like, instead of him just being like, we need to do better.
Yeah.
Then it's like I understood and I was on board and we were on the same page now.
Yeah, I started using every dollar app after you showed me.
Yeah.
And I still use it. Sometimes I like don't put transactions in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely a game changer. Because again, like with intention, if you don't have a budget, you're like, where's my money going? It's
Yeah.
like,
But with that being said, like the crazy thing is, I paid the car off. We paid off over $30,000 in medical bills. Self-employed, so the insurance I had was garbage, and so we had $30,000 in medical bills. Paid the car off, and then in 11 years, 12 years, I paid my house off in full. And just so the reward of doing the small things at first, and in like 10 years, it was wild how much different our life looked than it would have if we just kind of cruised alonging in like cruise control. Like life is going to happen regardless if you live it with intentions or not, and like what's easier 10 years down the road, having your medical bills paid for, your house paid for, and your car paid
School
for,
loans.
and your school loan. Yeah, school loans, we had that too. It's like 40,000 in school loans. So
yeah.
so like in 10 years paying that all off, or just making the minimum payments, and in 10 years you still are left with a whole bunch of
You
debt.
just paid a lot of interest.
Yeah, just paid a lot of interest.
Yeah. And I also think having debt also brings stress into a marriage.
Oh, 100%.
Just having that over your head. And it's like, especially if you're not on the same part with like one spouse wants to save money, the other one doesn't. And it's like,
Well, imagine this yet if you had your finances separate.
yeah.
Like,
Where do you?
Yeah.
Who pays what?
Yeah.
I guess in some people's mind, like if they don't run businesses and stuff, like maybe that makes somewhat sense, but it's like in business, like it's the same way. You bring in the money and you pay your bills with that money, no matter what broke or what needed fixed or what needed paid. All the money that comes in pays those bills, And at the end of the day, you hope to have a profit left. That's how business works. And I think personal finances are basically the same thing. You bring in all that money, no matter where it comes from, you put it in a lump sum, and you pay out all the bills, and you hope to have some left.
And
so you
it
put
comes back to this worksheet. If you're talking about it, you're on the same page where the money's going.
Yeah.
Now, if you are kind of saying one person is making more than the other, and you want to say that person gets more say or something, okay, that's out of respect maybe. But really, it's your money together. Like, you are now one, you are married, and yeah, communicate about it. Live with intention.
Yeah.
You go so much further,
Yeah.
in life
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
dive deeper into this because I don't remember if it's on this sheet, but you were talking, I think it was Friday, about how when you start your year, you have money, how you're going to spend it. It was like what things you have to fix at the house was like one part, and then the other parts, I can't remember exactly how you said it. So how does that work? Like with your finances? So vacations, is that what this is right
Do you
here?
want us
Like,
here? Let's start at the top.
Yeah, just go for
So
it.
this is just our sheet. We take it with us 4 times a year. Like he said, we either go on just one date night where we go out to eat and we spend 2 hours, maybe even talking in the car on the way to the dinner and on the way back because we do have children to drop off at a babysitter. Or we'll do an overnight trip. We just recently went to Seven Springs and did a little golf outing. So we would take this sheet with us, and first we always pray together. Next, we would say positive things about each other and about life. At least 3 things, whether it's about each other separately or what are we doing good together as a family, how are we winning together, to keep everything positive. And then we would go through these next areas of review. Do you want to do the first one?
Sure, yeah. So vacations and family fun, what our yearly calendar looks like. So yeah, I normally like to try to take off in January. It's cold here in central Pennsylvania, and we try to go somewhere warm or something fun with the family. It's a slow time in restaurant industry, and a lot of times I have staff that can work because they're on college break, that 2 weeks after Christmas. They normally go back till the 14th or so. So I can cover work nice. It's slow, and that's a good time to get away. It's cold here. So over the years, we've done different things.
Yeah. Usually what I do, I'm the one that writes everything down for our planning. So I'll write January through December. And then beside each month, hey, is there something we want to do in this month? And then write it down. It's just maybe 3 words for each month. Like in August, we usually go to Racetown. In June or July, we go to Del Grosso's. July is always the July 4th parade, which our son always looks forward to that. So it's stuff that we don't want to miss. Now, does that mean we have to go to Del Grosso's? Do we have to go to Racetown? No, but that's something that we can look forward to if that's what we want to do. And if we skip it, that's fine, but we don't want to miss it if it's important to us.
Yeah, it's living with intentions again, like just making sure like, hey, we're checking these things off, making sure we're getting family time in, a little time away from work, because that can, restaurant work can really just suck it all out of you. It can take all the fun out at times, you know.
And birthdays, we write down birthdays so we can start preparing for it. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Black Friday deals.
November
I'll
13th.
write that down to remind me, like, hey, if I was going to order a whole bunch of stuff in October, hey, maybe wait until the deals are on. So yeah, that's a way that someone could practically use this worksheet, is write down just January through December, write a little bit of things that you don't want to forget every year, whether it's the same or different, and plan.
Yeah, Jesse Itzler, I don't know if you know who he is. I might have showed you him before, but he has like he calls it the big ASS calendar, and you like plan out your whole year.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I saw something he showed one time. It's like once you fill up your days with like 8-hour work week, 5 days, then you have obviously your weekends and then holidays and those kind of things. It was like you only have 20% of your year, maybe even less, to actually use on things that you want to do.
I believe it.
And it's like, and then on top of that, like with kids, like that's going to make your schedule completely different, like
Yeah.
less. And it's like, yeah, again, if you're not being attention or having attention with everything, like you said, but continue on with your thing.
So next is finances.
Yeah, finances, I mean, we just, like we say, we budget every week. Sometimes it goes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but we try to get to it. We always catch up, make sure everything's right. And then I do have a couple business debts, a couple Airbnb debts, and we do have a new house that we built that has some debt on it. And so we just list those like in like order that we want to get rid of them. You can do smallest to largest if you like that routine. But yeah, it's basically what we do. We just look at that, make sure we're on goal. Like, I don't want to get to the end of the year and like, hey, we didn't make any progress. Like, what do we got to do on the budget so we got some money where we can make some progress? And that's really changed over the years. It's not all the same. Obviously, I didn't start out as a business owner, but now I'm a restaurant owner, and then I have 3 Airbnbs that we manage full time, so there's income on those. So it's a little different finances than it used to be, where you lived from just getting paychecks. You know,
Yeah.
So
So how do you, because I mean, most people, I guess, are either like salary or hourly, but would you suggest like taking your lowest amount that you'd make a week or a month and budget that? Like, because, you know, sometimes people work overtime, or like even business wise, you might make, like with your boutique, 1 year or 1 month, you might make more than the next. It's like, obviously you don't want to budget the most you ever made.
right. Right.
So would you just say budget the lowest amount?
Sure, yeah. So I've been salary for a long time, so that's kind of been. But yes, you should take an average. One thing, if you do your budget every year, you start seeing a track record. Hey, January, we're in January here, so January is a slow time. Like, we're going to stack some cash for January for the restaurant and personal, because we know it's going to be slow. And of course, you got that. If we want to take time off for vacation, you want to save that money. And but yeah, budgeting, you don't want to over budget or put in too large of amount and then be under budget. So yeah.
And then with finances, so like your vehicles, or say you want to buy a new vehicle, like that's something you would also write down. Like this year
Sure.
we're trying to buy, like
Yes.
save up money to buy it, because you guys don't
I don't finance
vehicles. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it because they go down in value so fast. So many times you see these people call in on these shows like Dave Ramsey and say, I'm upside down 10,000. And I've seen it with my friends, like, hey, bought a vehicle for 40,000 and 5 years later they still owe 20 on it and it's worth 15 or 10. And it's like, they don't have that $5,000 to get out of it, but it's broke or it's not working. And I just don't want to live with that stress. But basically what I'll do is I'll watch and I'll say, okay, so my truck's going to probably live another 5 years, and then I'll start saving increments of money towards that. And that's what we did with her car and then my truck, and then we'll sell the vehicle we have, and then you can use some of that money to go toward I use all that money to go towards a new one. And then normally I add like 10 or 20,000 to it to buy the new one.
Another thing, I think, where you're saying, how would you, I guess, save that money to go towards something that you know is coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the goal is not to go at the end of the month and be like, hey, we have so much money extra, let's go spend it. You're always going to put in, hey, what do you think we need to live comfortably and not just go crazy?
Yeah, I had a savings
Yeah.
account for
So
years.
then we keep adding.
Because I pay my insurance at 6 months at a time because you get a little bit discount, or then like tires for your truck. I would put all that money, or heating oil for the house. I would put all that money and transfer it over into a savings account. And then, like, let's say you get to January and you got that heating bill due, and like your car insurance is due for 6 months. Then you can pay it out and get that $50 in discount, but it's not coming out of your regular budget for that month. You already had it saved.
Yeah.
So always save what you can.
Yeah, and like I'm pretty sure you do like what Dave Ramsey said. You have an emergency fund as
Right.
well, and that's like you don't touch that unless, like obviously you have a brand new house, so this probably wouldn't happen. But like if a furnace went bad and you got to spend like 10 grand on a new,
Right.
like that's when you pull from that, not
Yeah.
for a new car. Or
Yeah.
something
Right.
Like that.
No, and we do have an emergency fund, and correct, you do not pull out of that for
fun
vacation
money. Yeah.
but yeah, it's just for emergencies.
And then I assume you guys also put back money for like vacations. Like
Yeah.
if we're going, like you guys did a cruise last year.
Yeah.
So if you figure out what the price is, you're like, say, put, I don't know, $50 back a paycheck until you get to
Right.
whatever it
We
is.
don't quite do it like where per month we need. It's more, don't overspend. What do you need to live comfortably?
Yeah,
Like,
just
I'm
make
saying-
sure you have it
Yeah, like-
before you spend it.
Yeah, make sure you have it before you spend it, but always, your goal is always to try and put back as much as you can, but also don't live life so plain that you're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
So like finding that middle
Yeah,
ground.
at first, I mean, I'm still pretty cheap. Like, or like I don't like to spend money.
Yeah.
Like, I'll see a book and I'm like, oh, I should buy that book. I say, it's okay. Or like, I need some new shirts, and say, it's okay. I'll just keep wearing what I got. And I do the same thing in business. I don't want to spend the money for the new racks because I just want to see, better
Organization
profits
or-
at the end of the month or whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's tricky, but you have to do the upgrades. You have to take care of things in life to make it comfortable, especially once you can. At first it was a little bit. We're not going to go out to eat anymore. I still want everybody to go out to eat. I'm in the restaurant industry,
Yeah.
but we didn't for a while. It was
Not
like,
that much. It was a lot that we were spending.
Beans and
now we
rice.
didn't have
Yeah.
we didn't have a TV at home, so we were going out to have a date and like watch the Steelers play or something because we chose not to have television.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys still don't have cable, right?
No.
Yeah, nothing like that.
No.
And I was going to say, tithing.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys are godly people, and the
Right.
Bible says, like, tithe 10%.
Sure.
Do you think, like, from talking to my mom and stuff, like, she believes that anytime she's ever needed money, like, especially, like, when you're early in life, like, most people aren't, say, doing as well as they do as they get older in life. But
Right.
she's always felt like God always gave them money to buy things that they needed. Do you feel like that's something that, I don't know, gives you some sort of safety net, like in your head, like at least I'm giving 10% to God, like hopefully He'll be there for you then when you would maybe come up with an expense you need or don't have and you
Yeah.
need?
I don't know. For me, I don't think I've ever really thought about it that way. I give because God has given to us, and so I think the first 10% should be for Him, and for the church. Or Chaydie does a lot of that. She likes to do all kinds of giving and so forth. But no, I never really thought about it as like, hey, I'm giving 10%, so whenever the hard knocks come along in life, that I'll be okay or something like that. I never really thought about it like that.
I don't think we've ever truly struggled badly though either.
No, I can
There's
remember
been
the.
times, like when I
yeah.
quit nursing. Now that was hard.
Yeah,
was
and there
hard.
was a time where the budget was,
Yeah.
we were bringing in less money than we
Yeah.
were spending.
That is
But
true.
we did have a pretty nice emergency fund for the first
You're right.
year of her quitting her nursing job. And then we got the Airbnbs rolling and
The boutique.
the boutique, and we were, in a year, we were able to use some of that emergency fund and then be able to come back around where we were profitable again.
So I would say, I guess we did have a hard time where, yes, we had our bills were more than what we were making, but we already had that fund, that emergency fund.
Yeah.
So we actually, we were prepared for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with the Airbnbs and stuff, it also shows like you could have just sat there and been like, we're not making enough money. Like, what do we do now? But like,
Yeah.
at least you like obviously I know like you're not someone that's just gonna like sit back and not do anything, but some people, or a lot of people, I feel like they're lazy and they just want to make excuses for things. So like you found another way, even with like the boutique, to bring in income.
Right. But it was something that you could do maybe with your children, like not put them to a sitter for 9-10 hours a day, or you weren't driving to that job that was, not so fulfilling. You still had time with the kids and stuff like that. So it's still a very busy time, and it was still a time where schedules were tough to juggle at times, especially if somebody needs something at the Airbnb or it broke and I'm at my regular job and she's at home with the kids. It's like, should I really send her over to the Airbnb with strangers there with 2 kids? So it's been tough. Sometimes it's nice to have family in town, neighbors that have helped us over the
And you
years.
used to have rentals or renters,
Yeah.
but we can dive deeper into that later. We can keep working on this sheet. So what's next? Business and work.
Yep.
Yeah. So we talk about business a little bit just so she knows where I'm at the job. We normally talk about, like, I'm always trying to fix 5 things that I know need fixed here at the restaurant, just trying to be better. I don't want to fall asleep at the wheel, say, and be like, yeah, it's doing well. And then 6 months, a year, look at it and be like, oh, it's falling apart. Like, so we just keep our hand on it, making sure it's being profitable, being where it needs to be. Keep an eye on that.
He does well not bringing all the business home with him every day, and we just find that works best for us. So this quarterly meeting, you can call it, works so he can keep me on the same page with
Right.
him where business is, but I'm not getting drawn into it so much that it's like that's all we're talking about every day after he comes home.
Right. Yeah, we talked a little bit maybe about the P&L, how things are looking there, and then we'll talk about like upgrading the computer system here, and maybe what we can do for the staff and things like that is normally kind of what it looks like for a small example.
And you keep business and personal finances separate, correct?
100%.
Yeah, because I know of someone that they don't, and sometimes they go to spend money, they don't have any money in their checking or savings, whatever, probably checking. And I thought that was an interesting way to do it, like have your business in your personal.
Right.
Because
There's just no way you could separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like personal and business, so all the money stays in the business unless I would do an owner's withdrawal, and then that would go to me, and then it would go into my personal, and then I would tithe off of that.
So do you tithe through the business? Is that
Yeah.
a thing? Like,
Yes, we will. So only at the end of the year if I pull money out of the business. So let's say we want to do something with the money at our house or personal, we tithe off of that. So
Okay.
if you pull money out, you will tithe 10% off of that. However, if the money stays in the business, I do not tithe on that until I take it personally.
okay.
Because like, let's say you make some money in the business, but then you might buy some new equipment. So you actually didn't make that money. You just bought new
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah.
So,
So yeah, you'd be giving away money that's not really
right.
there per se.
So anytime you take an owner's withdrawal, you have to remember 10% of that needs to go.
So that's business, and then work would be mostly what I'm doing as a job. He's always had a goal and done the same thing for work. But for me, it was, hey, are you going to continue nursing, which is 40 hours a week, and then for a while it was 32 hours, and then I went to maybe 1 day a week, and then it was maybe 1 day a month, and then Tyler's just kind of like, you need to be a stay-at-home mom. So
What-
for me, I feel like my job is changing a little bit more. Like at the end of this year, my goal is to hand the boutique over to my sister-in-law and the Traditions retail.
What is your plan, I guess, in the long term as Zeke and Zamar are both in school? Like, is your plan to get back into nursing, or what's that look like? Or
I
haven't
don't
you
know
thought
yet.
about it? Yeah.
I have thought about it a lot. I think there's lots to do within our business here. There's lots to do within the Airbnbs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, what kind of
also,
s-
maybe more children. So.
Yeah.
We'll kind of
Awful
see
now.
where God takes us, but
Yeah.
I know one thing, we'll have plenty to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, as far as like, if I see her at home, I don't know how much I want to see her at work, some of that stuff might not be exactly what you...
Yeah, I think that'd be
It's too
hard.
much, too
Working
much.
with
Yeah.
your wife all day.
Yeah.
Like I know a couple, they're like small contractors, so they're doing like manual labor together, and like he runs the excavator, and she's like kind of like the person that's in the ditch and like that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I'm thinking, like, I don't know how, like, think about doing, like, that kind of work with your wife and trying not to fight.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like, you have to go home, and then it's like, you're with her again.
Yeah.
And obviously, it would be a different setting, but if you had a fight at work with your wife,
It'd be a rough day at home.
yeah, it's like no dinner.
And we
for
have
you.
worked together some, and but yeah, restaurants fast paced. You know, if your tempers would flare a little bit at work, that would definitely drag home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was you told maybe Haley this, and then she told me. But one thing you said about, like, you know when not to bring things up, which
Yeah.
is, I think sometimes is good to know, obviously, because like Tyler comes home at the evening, it gets home late from work. Like this isn't the time to bring up something that obviously he's tired, he wants to go to bed. That is when someone is like, I saw a statistic.
Yeah.
It was most fights with between the couples wouldn't happen if you had your sleep and if you were like full, like you ate food.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of true, because think about, like, I know, like, I'm not someone who usually like wants to fight or like say something smart
Yeah.
about someone, but like if I'm tired or if I'm hungry, it's like there's a slight like where you're like, I guess, more negative, or you just
Yeah.
want to like, it's harder, I guess, to control your emotions.
Yeah.
And then this is actually a complete side note to the thing, but like Jesus in the desert for 40 days when he fasted and then
Yep.
Satan tempted him.
Yeah.
Like, isn't it kind of impressive that he didn't like give in at all?
Yeah.
Like, I would
He had
probably
to sh-
wanted to.
Yeah, he had to show us what perfection was.
Yeah. Yeah. But that
But
was
we are
completely-
still sinful at
completely
nature.
different.
You're
But
not-
all right, back to
Yeah.
what parenting evaluation.
So yes, we talk about what we need to do right now in parenting, because children are always growing up. They're always going through their next phase. Like, children grow in phases. Like, you know, at one point you're potty training, at one point you're sending one off to school. Temper tantrums flare up during teething. So, I mean, you could really do this worksheet almost weekly.
Yeah, no
Just
kidding.
based off of how your children are that week, or if they're going through a growth spurt. But we try to say, hey, like, they're this age now. What are the chores going to be? Hey, what should the discipline be right now? You know, what is appropriate for your child during the phase, during the age? And so, yeah, you always need to be talking about your children, your parenting styles. There was one more thing.
Parenting styles
Yeah.
is big for me because she's with the kids all the time, and then I'll come home from work and I might be a little more relaxed or be like, yeah, that's good with me, and she's like, no, I told him no all
Yeah,
day, you know.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to have some of that too. So
And it's not that I'm trying to correct him, but he trusts that I know the children a little bit better because I'm with them all the time. And he also knows, yeah, like he said, he comes home a little bit more chill. So he can
Yeah.
maybe take them for me to give me a little bit of a break
Yeah.
and let me cool down and think. Like, the answer might still be no, but was that the most appropriate thing in the
Yeah.
moment?
I think that's would be the hardest thing as a parent is when you have your certain roles or like things you want to do, but when you're like you come home from work and like, I don't know, for example, like say you want them to eat healthy, like, cause you're pretty big on like eating healthy, and it's like, okay, we probably should give them something healthy, or there's a bag of chips there. It's like, just eat the chips.
Yeah.
It's like, but kids, I feel like the only way they can learn is if it's kind of structured and doesn't change all the time. Cause it's like, how do you learn if like one person's saying, oh, you can eat whatever, then the other time it's like, no, like
Yeah.
we're not eating that.
And that's kind of like when you talk about structure for kids. So I was dead set. She goes back to work after Zeke was born. And you can touch on it a little bit, but I'll explain my side because financially she was making good money as an RN at the hospital. And I felt like we needed it. We just built a new house. And so she went back to work for a little bit. And then I was dropping him off in the morning at my aunt's because I was working second shift. She was working first shift. And then she'd pick him up in the afternoon, and then we were going to my mom's. And then one day a week we had a sitter, and it was like, that poor kid has no structure. Like, one person might say this, and that person might say that. And so it's like, it is really nice to have a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife that takes care of the kids. And we try to get that consistently taking care of kids. It's just the two of us, and we are supposed to be working together, not 4 different sitters or grandparents and all that different parenting styles that come in, and then that poor child's like, you know, that person said it was okay, but this person says it's
Yeah.
not, and they're all over the
Cause
place. You know?
confusion.
So stability for a kid I think is huge. And so she explained that to me when he was like 6 months old.
I think it was a year and a half when I quit working, but we were talking about it for a couple months that I was like, I really feel like I shouldn't work. I really feel like I shouldn't work for probably at least 6 months
Right.
before it actually happened. Because it didn't make financial sense at all.
So how do you decide like how you're going to discipline your kid, I guess? Because like obviously Tyler grew up in like was a Mennonite, so like that whole thing, like obviously if I'm not saying it right, you can say, but like they're big on like family and like obviously God and Christian. So his upbringing and your upbringing are completely different.
Yeah.
And like obviously now like you're both like good Christian people. We go to church, so it's not like you're completely different.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like when it goes to disciplining, whether you're both Christians raised in the same kind of like, how do you decide? Okay, like are we going to discipline our kid in front of people, or are we going to
Yeah.
wait to do it behind? Like how does that
Yeah.
work?
I think there's multiple layers to that question. So first is no matter if you came from a Christian home or not, both from Christian homes, both from not Christian homes, once you get married, you are now this team, and it's a whole different thing when you have to make the decisions for a child. Like all of a sudden it's like, wow, I have to make the decisions. Like before, like your parents made the decisions, and then as you got older, you were just making decisions for yourself. And then now you're married, you have to like now mend your communication. But now you throw a child into it, and you're like, this is kind of scary in a way. You know, whether they're getting vaccines or not, whether they're, you know, getting spanked or not. All of that kind of stuff is hard. So it's really just talking about it and trial and error. Like, unfortunately, but we are not perfect people. So you'll maybe start parenting just naturally one way, and then you have to step back and look at it and think about it and say, do we like this or not?
Yeah, how are they reacting, or this or that? Like, it is hard to get your goals in place and stick to them, or then like, okay, we did say we're going to do this, but we see that it's not exactly what we were hoping it was
Yeah.
going to be. We're going to drop that. And it's just open communication. But yeah, I remember when Zeke was born, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely like, I remember before he was born, I was like, life isn't going to change much. I'll come home, I'll take care of him, I'll still go to the gym, whatnot. But then when he was born, it was like, whoa, this is wild. Everything changes a little bit. And people tell you that, but it's like, till it really happens to you, they don't come with an owner's manual. You just got to spend time with them and then just try to figure it out, communicate. And if you're living with intentions and you have a good partner, things would definitely come together.
Yeah.
And you'll start to figure things out as a parent.
As much as I wish you could like scroll through Instagram, watch a reel that's like, your child will behave every time if you do this, you would hope it works, right?
Yeah.
But it's not how it works.
Yeah,
Every
parenting's
child is
scary.
unique. Yeah, it does. Yeah, you have to really come together and just keep evaluating your child. And then, like I said, the next phase will come. Like all of a sudden, they'll stop throwing those temper tantrums, but then the next thing comes, and
Yeah,
you
like-
have to face that together.
Like they won't listen. Like
Yeah.
Zeke right now, he
That's his new thing. Yeah.
just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And like,
He thinks
tell him
he's-
he has to come here, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, he's still ever doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
But-
like 6 going on 13 or 18. I don't know.
Yeah. No, like obviously I want kids, and you hear people talk about things. You see kids, how they're acting, how they get disciplined. It's like you start getting your own thing in your head, like, okay, this is how I'm going to do with my kid. But then it's like you have no idea what to expect
Yeah.
when it happens. It's
One
like,
thing is, like, God has made us all individually unique. Like, none of our fingerprints are the same. None of us look the same. And, so, like, I always thought, like, okay, just read the right book. Watch the right
Yeah.
thing, like she said. And, like, it's not that way. What worked for this person might not work 100% for you. But what I told Chaydie, I says, like, if you read this book and it has 100 things that will make your child better, grab 4 or 5 of them out that you think are the best, like the gold, like the really good stuff, and implement those
For your family. The
for
goal
your family, for your family or your personal life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we try to implement all 100, and it's like I'm all
Overwhelming.
all over
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
my head, and I can't figure it out. Forget it. But if you can just get those first 5 things going the right way, or first 2 things, and then build on that. And that's kind of how this Living Intentions came along. We started with budget, and then we were like, okay, we got to do some financials, we got to do some love language stuff, and then we just kept building on it.
And podcasts.
And
Reading
podcasts.
books.
Yeah. And I think this Living with Intentions will change every year a little bit better. Something will change, something will be a little different because,
and you came up with this whole thing?
yes.
So like what was your basis of thinking of how to put it together?
So we did, he listened to a podcast. Don't remember what it was called, but he sent it to me, and I listened to it. And I was like, this is great. It was a dad who said that he had a business and how he still showed up for his wife and his children. Now, a worksheet didn't come with it, so I just listened to the podcast 1 or 2 times and kind of put into play what I thought would be best for our family, what we should review, how we should do it, how often we should do it. what was realistic. Because when you have children, you're not going to leave them, every week to go on a date.
Yeah.
Not at first. Now that they're getting older, maybe eventually we could do a week, every week that you have 2 hours together or something. But it wasn't realistic at first. So every 3 months. Now maybe we could do monthly.
Yeah, we
but
do.
you just-
We
yeah.
have been doing monthly
Yeah,
this
yeah.
summer, and I think it's good. Like even like we were just playing golf together, something like that. I think it's good to change as the kids get older, to adapt to what works best. And some people might need a little more couple time together. So like I know some people that do once a week,
Yeah.
and they have kids. But
Yeah,
So-
because that's what they need to keep their love alive or to, feel refreshed. But yeah,
it's got to be your intention, not somebody else.
Yeah, like you were saying with the books, like trying to implement 100 different things. If you constantly do that, and like obviously, like I'm someone like I like podcasts just like you do. But if you do everything someone says, you're not living your life. Like you're literally trying to live their life, and like you said, every person, every family is different in some way. Whether and it's almost impossible to do 100 things when, like you said, do 2 things or whatever,
Right.
and try to do that and stick to it. Because it's like, say you're overweight and you decide, I'm gonna lose weight, start going to the gym, just a bunch of different things. It's like so overwhelming.
Right.
It's like, how do we do this all? And then you just give up because it's like, this is too hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so, and I'm a big podcaster. I listen to podcasts all the time.
What's
And
the
it's-
best one?
What's the best one? Well, there's lots of good ones. A lot of times I listen to business, so it would be Dave Ramsey does. Can't remember.
You're a big Dave Ramsey guy.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of where I found the budget,
Yeah.
and I kind of like that. He does.
And he's a good godly guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. And what does he do? He does. Boy, he caught me off guard. I'll think about it. I'll
Okay.
come back to that
Yeah.
one. But I do like that podcast. And Dad Edge was the podcast that the Living Intentions kind of was born from. And
I'm not sure if that one's faith-based, but there's
No,
still good things that you
Yeah.
can pull out of it.
I mean, I listen to Joe Rogan. And
yeah, I
he-
listen to Joe Rogan
Yeah.
sometimes.
But I think sometimes if you're taking advice, especially, it's like, okay, well, is this person godly? So like,
Yeah.
or like Joe Rogan, like he says good stuff, obviously, but it's like, okay, well, is this?
You have
I
to
don't know.
discern before you put it into play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you probably, yeah.
And I listen to the guy that does the dairy CEO.
Oh, Diary CEO. Yeah.
I listen to him, and there's some good ones in there, and there's some in there I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
not gonna listen to that one the whole way through.
Yeah.
But one thing with a podcast, if you try to, okay, I like that goal, I'm gonna do that, and then a week later you listen to another one, oh, now I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Now you're way inconsistent. You're not doing anything anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't listen to them too close together.
Yeah.
Give yourself some time to process and put it into play.
I don't know if it was Alex Ramosi or who it was, but it's like, and sometimes I feel like this is how I am, is you got all these things you listen to in podcasts and like things you want to do, and it's like, okay, well, you know now what to do, like, go do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, you can only listen to so many podcasts
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, well, you know how to make, even business-wise, like, okay, you think you know how to start a company, like, go do it. Like,
Right.
don't think, and that's one thing I hate is like when I'm talking to like either you or like sometimes like you say you have something you're trying to work with, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what I listen to, but I have no basis behind it if it actually works because it's just what I heard.
Right. Yeah, and that's one thing I hear sometimes. Like, I really try to surround myself with people like, if they say they're going to go run a marathon, they do it. I've seen so many people say, I'm going to do it. And then, like, it's like, okay, really? Like, or in business, I'm going to go do this. And it's like they don't do it. And that's why I always appreciated with you in fitness is like, when you say you're going to do something, like, I better hang on because I'm along for the ride because I want to do it, but I know you're going to do it and it's not going to lead me astray. Like, we did the triathlons and the
Yeah.
marathon. That was really cool.
Yeah. The hardest thing that I have right now figuring out is how to do that with, like, I guess my personal goals of trying to, like, even like this podcast, like growing things is because, I mean, obviously, but it's a little different for you because like when you came into the restaurant business, it already was created.
Right.
But how do you, like fitness, so say I'm going to do a marathon. It's easy to know, okay, so this is the day I'm doing it. I know what I need to do, practice, train to get there. But when you're trying to create a business or something that's like a podcast or like an app, it's like there is no written path. There is no like, okay, if you do this for like 4 hours a day for 4 months, or not even 4 years, you'll become successful. It's like there is no year, date, anything like that to let you know, okay, like, and to me, it's like, that's why like when people are like, can I do a marathon? I'm like, yeah, it's easy. Like anyone can do it. It's like if you plan it out, you'll get there. Like you'll be able to do it. Like even the Ironman we did, like that was one of the hardest things and one of the first things I was kind of like nervous about and like scared, especially like the night before, like sleeping in bed. I'm like, and then you do it and then it's like, that wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Like you just
trained for it.
Yeah.
Well, I remember jumping in that practice swim.
Yeah.
And I was like, what have I signed up for?
Yeah.
And the next morning, I didn't. My nerves were pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess I just prayed about it and left it there.
Yeah. I just kept thinking to myself was like, just jump in the water and like once you're there and you're in it, it's like it's happening.
Yeah.
Just like you know what you need to do now is like just do what you need to do.
The fact that we did that in like 3 to 4 months, and I remember jumping in the pool at the local summit, and I couldn't even swim 50 yards.
Yep. And how many people do you talk to and they're like, I can't even swim, and I'm like,
It's
no,
okay.
trust me, we were the same way. Like there's like swimming to
You guys look so
stay
funny.
afloat, and then there's like swimming for that. It is different, but again, it's like to me like that stuff. It's so easy because like if you put in the work and train for it, you can do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But that's gonna roll great
Yeah.
into our next thing, which is goals.
One
Yeah.
thing I did want to say with
Yep.
podcasts and books, you have to remember that they are human too, and they're just giving you their wisdom. Like they honed in just on that topic to try and help others. And I think that's what we can do too with things that we've learned in our life like this. We can give them the best and what worked to try and help others because we are created as a community to help others. But you need to remember that they're a human too,
Yeah.
and they have a life that doesn't look perfect.
Yep.
So.
Back to
Yeah.
something else I've heard from, I think it was Alex Ramosi. I don't know. I like Alex Ramosi, but he said a guy sold a business. He went into consulting or something. He ended up getting into like I don't know, meetings with like huge companies, like CEOs. And he said the whole entire time he had his business and ran it, he always thought these guys knew what they were doing. Like they know what they're doing. And he'd go sit in these meetings and they had no idea what they were doing either. It's just one, obviously how you or show it to people. Like
Yeah.
you obviously have to be confident in what you're doing, and you don't want to be like someone comes in your restaurant, you're like, I have no idea, like
Yeah.
not a clue.
Well, and that's sometimes that's how it feels here. And obviously, we're a mom and pop with like 130 seats, and then we serve about 3,500 people a week. And it's like sometimes I feel like I have no idea what's the next step, and like what do we do? And it's like, but yet when I look around, like we just won the Hometown Favorites Award for the best restaurant just last week, and then like on Google, I looked at like a 30-mile radius. We have the best rated restaurant in 30 miles. Like there's nobody rated better than us on Google. And so it's like, oh, we do know what we're doing. We have the right people here. We're buying the right products. We're making the right recipes from scratch. Like we're putting it all together. But there's definitely days I walk into work and it's like, okay, it's looks like I don't know what I'm doing today,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and there are some days I'm a pretty slow like mover when it comes to like things that are supposed to be like get you like put you under or like put you out. Like I think about it, I'm like, okay, I pray about it, and then I'm like, you know what, tomorrow's gonna be okay to answer that or take care of that. And sometimes you just gotta think about it or talk to somebody. But yeah, I don't normally fly off a handle or like go completely crazy right off of like a big incident or a bad incident. I try to think about it, see what I can do to fix it first.
Yeah, which is definitely good. I feel like when I was younger, I was definitely, and still sometimes, like I'm very impulsive about decisions.
Right.
Where I'm like, okay, we're doing it, like we're booking it, we're going, and it's
Right.
like, then like I do it or I start looking, I'm like, I probably should have thought about that a little bit more. But
Yeah.
all right, goals.
Goals. Yeah. So for me, like just for instance, I'll give you my life goals that I just wrote down. Do a little less screen time, especially on Sundays. I don't need to be on that phone. I gotta be intentional with my kids. Like he's 6 already, and like I read a book about kids. Like when they get to 12, like the one-on-one time is gone. Like with a dad and son, it's almost gone because they're more interested in their friends. And I can remember that.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. And so, yeah, I just want to be with him and be with the family, be present at home, and leave work at work, whenever it's time. I'm getting better. Like on Sundays, if I have staff text me, I get better at just letting that message unread and taking care of it first thing Monday morning. Like I can do that a little better because I like in restaurant work, you do try to take care of all the small issues, all the things right away, the best you can, scheduling and so forth. But I do know on Sundays I want to be more present at home. And even when I get home from work, if it's not an urgent something that needs taken care of immediately, I'll try to save it for a time when I am by myself. So
Yeah, I
that's-
feel like you guys do good with that now. Like most couples, families, I feel like even me, like now a lot of stuff I do is on my phone because like we looked at one day like what your screen time is, and like it does my MacBook and everything, but I forget what it was. Do you remember how many hours it was? Stupid amount. And like
Yeah.
when I tell Haley, I'm like, listen, like I needed a detox because like my brain or my head just feels like it's like, and I'm like I need to get off my phone and like. But for me, it's like, how do I get off my phone when like that's where I'm trying to put out content, or
Yeah.
when that's the thing that I need to do to somewhat like try to grow what I want to do.
Right.
But like no, I think you guys do a good job with not being on your phones and like no TV. I like you guys watch what's it, Dude Perfect, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff sometimes.
It's a family night.
Yeah. But I think that's another thing. Like I think the way Western society is made, and I think it might have to do with the government and like all that stuff. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's to break the family and keep you so busy that you don't realize what's happening, whether it's with your finance, with your partner. And like once you're in debt, it's like, okay, well now we're trying to like, you never really get out of debt. And then you're just like, that's just a circle that you just keep running around. And then
Just
it's
gotta
like,
break the circle.
then you go home and you watch your Netflix and it's like, I want to get home from work and I just want to watch Netflix. I don't want to play with my kid. And it's like, you see all these families that they don't do anything with their kids. And it's like, or I don't even know, but you go out somewhere and the mom and dad are just on their phones and their kids are also on their phones. And then there's like so much research on like kids with screen time and like
Right.
that kind of stuff. And I am now going on a tangent. I don't remember how I got here, but phones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your
less
goal.
screen time and
Less
not
screen
having
time.
a TV.
Yes. Weston does a good job with
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is 100% like, but like again, like you just described somebody that's not living life with intentions in my mind.
Yep.
They're going to work, they're getting through that 9 to 5 or whatever they're doing. Like I got no problem with 9 to 5s or people that work a job because I have 70 of those people.
Yep.
I need them. Like I want those people, but they can still live life with intention. Like they don't, go home and spend time with their kids or just try to make their life better if they have kids or whatever it may be, or fitness goals. Like just making one improvement. Like this didn't just happen yesterday and we were perfect at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he grew up without TV. I grew up with TV. It was on all the time, but then you could almost ignore it because it was more like background music.
Yep.
But also probably wasted a lot of life watching TV. But we disagreed together. That's not what we wanted. Now we do have a TV in the house. But hey, movie night is together as a family. We'll make popcorn and pizza or something. Or if mom's sick, the kids just think I'm more fun. But really, I need that to be my babysitter because I need to heal because I don't have a whole bunch of babysitters. I don't have a daycare. So we kind of use it, again, with intention. We use the TV when we need it.
Yes, there's a statistic. If you
Yeah.
start your day with the news on the TV, you're like 80%. Was it 80% more? How did it go? It's like 80%. More stressed out, or you're something
Probably.
like
I heard
that.
something
80%
like that,
more hate your life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Because
I don't watch any news.
How
Probably not
many
as
people
thankful either
get
for
up
where
in
you
the
live.
morning and they just watch the news? Like my
That's-
mom watches the news and stuff like all the time. Now, like, but she's pretty like she listens to her sermons and like she's like she doesn't let the news ruin her day, but she's pretty big on the news. But I will say, like growing up, every time I woke up in the morning, it was always a preacher on the TV. It was never the news.
Yeah.
So I don't know actually what she does now. I just know she likes watching the news. But how many people wake up in the morning and they watch the
news and the
it's
weather.
just negative,
Yeah.
negative.
Yeah, I don't actually have any Facebook, Instagram, any social media on my phone at all.
So yeah, so that's
I
one of
have
your
no
goals.
games either.
Yep, less time on your
Yeah.
phone.
And so like, there is no temptation. Like now I have Facebook for work. I have an iPad at work here that I check.
Yeah, I think.
Probably not often enough.
Yeah, I
but
think that's a great thing though. Like if you like drinking alcohol, don't have beer in your house. You
Right.
make it
Yeah.
harder to
Yeah.
do those things. Same with like, whatever that thing is. Like you said, just get it off your phone.
Yeah, and that's improved it drastically. I know I downloaded Facebook for a little bit for some marketplace stuff during that triathlon time. And then I left it on my phone. Then pretty soon I caught myself scrolling on I have no idea what. And it's like, wow.
That's me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't scroll on Facebook often, but sometimes I'm like, what am I doing on Facebook? Like, I'm just looking at this. It's like, because I don't get on Facebook that often. And for some reason, everything on my Facebook has nothing to do with around the area. So I'm
Right.
like looking, I'm like, oh, wow, this house burnt down. And it's like Washington. And I'm like, why am I looking at this right now?
Doesn't affect me. And that's what people say about the news and stuff, dude. I got to know what's going on. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. It's good to know some. But does it really affect you?
Yeah.
He'll say if it's important enough, someone will tell you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how COVID, I remember COVID, like I didn't have news, so like COVID hit and like people were saying, hey, you have to close your business. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm not closing tomorrow. Are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah.
And then I did get it and I'm like, wow, that was restaurant industry, hospitality industry. That hit
Yeah.
hard. But yeah, that was, I remember calling all 60 people and telling them they didn't have to come to work. That was really.
And
If
you
it's big enough, we'll
paid
find out.
did you pay your employees
So
through COVID?
we got them all to sign up for the unemployment.
Okay.
And yes, we paid them all through the
Yeah.
unemployment.
Yeah.
But we did not continue our normally payment rate, like our normal payouts through payroll, but they did still all get paid through the unemployment, yes.
Okay. So, Chaydie, what's one of your
Yeah.
goals?
So some of my goals is to read more books, to make more meals from scratch. So my newest goal is to try and make yogurt from A2 unpasteurized milk and to make cheese.
You just mean like different things,
Yeah.
like new foods to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
'Cause
we
I say,
have
I
a
feel like-
garden. We butcher our own cows. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
Okay.
So we already do a lot of that from scratch. But yes, there's more things like I do more packaged foods that I would like for snacks, like bars and stuff. So just even making that, like whether it's those oat balls, like fiber balls, or actual granola bars, stuff like that. Now it's not as easy to like throw that in the diaper bag and leave for a day and then maybe it's in there the next day because you need it when you're traveling. I would still go to packaged foods for that, but for more of the daily. And like saying to the kids, hey, when you want a snack, you open up the fridge, not the cupboard. Those perishable items are healthier.
And do you do that mainly because it's healthier, or are you doing that just because you don't like the additives that are in these other bars and food? Or
Yeah.
are you doing it because you can't have like 96% of the food chart?
Yeah. Yeah, so my health issues have definitely been a role in why I want to do it. And they say that your gut is passed on to your children. And one of our children cannot have dairy. And the youngest one, I'm not sure if she can have either. We're kind of still trialing with that. And
That part is crazy about the gut. I heard that, and like it doesn't ever get better.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting worse. And so like I don't know. So what happens in 10,000 years? Like, is people gonna have a gut, or is it just their food's gonna just
Bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be in heaven by then.
Yeah.
Like
and there's a
everyone.
book right now that I'm reading called The Biblio Diet, and it's ancient eating, basically, is what it is. So going back to more ancient eating and taking out the preservatives, and it talks about like what food coloring does to you and stuff like that. And so it's just kind of triggering me to be like, hey, like I need a better diet for my gut health to recreate and do better, and probably my children too, because they came from me. And why not? All of us be better, healthier, more energy,
Yeah.
and have less of those preservatives in our body.
Be fit people.
Yeah, and then I throw some fitness goals on there, like
Let's hear them.
Well,
Doing a last man stand.
yeah,
right?
I think you and I
Yeah.
we're due for that for 2026.
Gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, we got to get the things penciled in because
Yeah. I know.
I'm getting busy.
I mean, the BPN one that we were talking about, I think we probably can't do that one because I was looking at it last year. They did it in August.
Yeah.
So if they do it in August again, it's too late because I'll get married. I go on a honeymoon for 2 weeks, and I don't want to have to
Train on
Yeah,
a honeymoon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had to train
On a
on your
cruise.
vacation.
I was
Yeah.
running laps in the middle
Yeah.
of the
Yeah. The
ocean.
Strava, you just like circles kept moving.
Hey,
But-
it worked out though, because like I had to have time to let my children sleep and
Yeah.
get ready for the day, so it did work. That you
Yeah.
could
Yeah, I
go
just got
train.
up first thing in the morning.
But that's another thing, like with so many people, and I just probably can't stand, I guess, lazy people, but how many people would have made that excuse when they were on the cruise? Yeah, I can't run. And it's like, you can. It's just, like you said, like, you're pretty good with, like, waking up early. Like, I think when you were in Florida at a house, you'd wake up for, like, the kids.
Yeah.
That way, then you could spend your day, like, obviously
With
with
the
them
kids,
and
yeah.
not let it affect that part of it.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I'll go to like her sister's house, and the guy was like, "Oh, what'd you do this morning?" I was like, "Oh, I ran 12 miles," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Just blown away.
Yeah.
It's like before everybody was awake, I had 12 miles.
Yeah.
That was marathon training, but yeah, fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is that it? What else? Fitness goals. What do you got?
I mean, I was trying to play some golf, and
Yeah.
I was trying to get my handicap to single digits, which I got up to a 12. Didn't quite get there, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
That was one I missed.
Chaydie,
Most
do you have any
times,
fitness goals?
I tried.
But weren't you telling me something about when
yeah.
this might be personal, but because I can't remember exactly what you
Yeah.
said, but something when you work out, it actually hurts you.
Yeah.
Like,
So I have mast cell disease. And so when you stress out your body, it can become harmful.
Yeah, which is
And,
crazy.
Yeah. So I would say I do have fitness goals. It's basically strengthening. Like
Yeah.
I want to do stuff for functional strengthening. I would say everything around my health is to be functional. So I can tell that I'm weak. I don't have a lot of muscle. You know, I get sore just by doing little things. So I did find where I think it's called functional fitness, where
Okay.
like you just put your hands up and down, kind of like you're getting out of the cupboard, you
Yeah.
know, something out of the cupboard or something.
With like a 5-pound weight in your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
Because there's a
just
lady
very
we were
light,
talking
yeah.
about. She walks with 5-pound dumbbells,
Yeah.
and she's like,
I'm seeing
does
that.
whatever.
Yeah, maybe that'll be me.
And I guess fitness-wise, I mean, eating healthy.
Yeah,
I think
so,
that's the
yeah,
biggest part.
Yeah, but
Um,
my goal is to gain some muscle, I think. Yeah.
And keep in mind, your end goal is give glory to God.
Yeah.
I think it's
Always.
so. Haley asked me a question, and this is I wanted to say this earlier, and now I'll bring it back up. Is how do you feel about diving deep into some questions? Like obviously you don't do this every week, but I know like sometimes, say I get home from I don't know work, or it's not even normally work. Say it's the weekend and it's 8 p.m. at night. I'm like, because I don't watch TV either, but the only time I will is like maybe on a Saturday night. So I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna sit down, watch some TV. Just say that's what it is. And then Haley's like wants to start diving in these deep questions, and I'm like, no, like I do not want to have to think. Like I just want to just be able to lay here and like I guess be lazy. So obviously you wouldn't want to do these at that time of night. You
No.
Yeah.
like you.
Got to be intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because you're annoyed, she's hyped up.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna end bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what she would do to me sometimes. Like I get home from work, I just work crazy hours and I'm exhausted. I don't want to think. You know, and sometimes I'll say that. Like the other night we were working on some of this, and it was a long day. We were driving home, and she asked me some questions. I said, I just don't want to think right now.
Yeah,
I'm
and-
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you
So-
stop, you communicate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But so giving glory to God. So she read something or saw something, and it said about fitness. Something about is like posting pictures or like obviously because like I do that social media side, but is that for you or is it for God? Like how are you using that to glorify God? And I was thinking like, or like I guess the way I look at it is honestly with everything, it's like, okay, I need to do better with everything I do, trying to glorify God in it, because I mean obviously like that the end goal is obviously you want to get to heaven and you need to glorify God, and obviously there's more than just that.
Yeah.
But like with fitness, am I doing it because I want to look good for myself? And obviously I like looking good. But the reason I don't post, like I've told Haley before, like if I didn't like get like sponsors and stuff and like I lost all that, I probably would just stop, because it is very, I don't know. It's not like it's not like I turn all my comments, everything off on Instagram. So like, I don't see that stuff unless I get on the app, because it can get very, I guess, ego, like to your head. Like,
Yeah.
and like, I could see how, I don't know. So I guess I don't think I 100% glorify God yet, like in the gym aspect, because I don't feel like I'm bringing anyone to Christ by working out. I do know, like I do try to talk about some stuff godly sometimes, like, or try to say things, because like,
Yeah, but you could look at it like in anyway, like restaurant industry doesn't necessarily bring people to God, but
yeah, but you got all these sayings.
Yeah.
Father God, thank you for giving me hands to work. May my work reflect my love for you.
yeah. But that's just words on the wall.
Yeah.
But the food maybe that you're serving isn't glorifying your body.
But you could
Yeah.
you could wear merch or
Yeah.
bracelets
Yeah.
or
Like your
Yeah.
shirt you wore
Yeah.
for your 5K.
yeah.
My mom liked that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to live a little more, like, my life a little more open. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I am that guy you can ask a question if you really want. you
Yeah.
know. But I'm also not going to be the guy that's shoving it down your throat. It's got to be your personal decision.
Yeah. 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 I would say you're definitely like the number one person I look up to in that
Thanks.
side of things,
Yeah.
because like you're confident in it. And like not every Jesus person is a Jesus like weird freak, but like there's people out there that there's just like you're doing too much. Like in my opinion, it's like no one wants to be that. Like be
It's
a
almost
normal
turning.
person.
It's almost turning them off.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. But
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
But-
hard. It's a fine line.
Yeah.
I
When
definitely
we're
don't have
doing
it right.
and when we're doing all of these things, like maybe we haven't mentioned it enough, but of course, like we are always in every topic saying, how can we glorify
Yeah.
God? Like we pray that before we do this.
Yeah.
And we're keeping in mind that we are a team, that God, put us together to be one, that we are better that way, that our whole life we want to be Christ-centered in every area.
Yep, like they say at church.
Christ-centered. Live
Yeah.
a Jesus-centered life.
Yep, that's what we say. Haven't been in church forever, but that's normally what we say in our prayers at some point in time. But yeah, so what's the next thing?
Communication.
Also, if anyone hears background noise, we're at a restaurant and they have things that run, so
We're making ice.
they're making ice. We have an ice cream tonight. Communication, any unspoken expectation or thoughts.
That's
Question, do you
yeah.
guys write down any of this stuff like throughout the months, like going into a quarterly, like, oh, I thought of this, I want to remember it?
I have a notes tab on my phone.
Okay.
And if I'm doing something, I'm like, I need to save that.
Yeah.
And I jot it down and
Yeah.
pull it up on
Yeah.
date night.
Yeah,
Yep.
good, because like, yeah, like,
It's hard to
Oh,
remember everything.
uh-huh.
You sit down, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I had 6 things, but
yeah.
I don't know what they are. But
Yeah, because me and Haley, we try to, like on Saturday mornings, since you guys started, like obviously we don't have kids, like it's easy for us to have alone time. But you'll sit down and say, okay, is there anything I need to work on? It's like, I don't remember. Like whatever it was
Yeah.
on Tuesday,
Yep.
like, yeah, you need to work. Or like, if I thought of it, was like, that was on Tuesday. I don't remember what happened on Tuesday.
right.
Yeah, some of it I'll write down before, but some things, like going back to what you said about we want to decrease conflict,
Yeah,
I won't write it down because I'm thinking like, hey, do I actually mean that? Or am I just writing this down in the heat of the moment because
Yeah.
I'm mad at him?
yeah,
And now I wouldn't have told him that I was mad at him because I'm trying to not have those arguments in front of children or something, and I'm being smart about it, that I'm going to keep my mouth shut until I can think about it first. But yeah, so I wouldn't always write down everything because I want to make sure that it's something worth saying, like, did I mean that, or is it the heat of the moment? So. But there is other things where, yeah, you don't want to forget, so then you write them down.
So communion,
Communion.
that's what it says.
Communication.
Oh, okay, communication.
We would just say, hey, like, do we think that we're communicating well right now? Is there anything
Schedule
that needs to
budgets
change?
well,
We have 2 booklets. So we have one that is a schedule that we get out every week. It has a monthly planner in it we write in, and then we also have a budget that isn't just every dollar, but it's another kind of like a worksheet, but it has a pocket in each month, and where I'll put like little notes like, hey, this month we butchered our cows, and this is how many pounds we had, this is how much we spent. So you can always look back through it. So it's only 12 pages instead of, 12 pages times the 30 days of the month to look over from your monthly schedule or your yearly review.
Yeah.
So just those 2 things kind of help organize, and then we just talk about, are we communicating well? Is there anything else we can do better? Do we need more date nights?
So you mentioned about fighting kids. Is that something you guys try not to do? Is like any arguments you guys have with each other, like don't do that in front of the kids?
I don't try to.
Yeah.
I mean, not like you fight that often.
I
but
don't feel like we fight very much, but I would call them disagreements.
Yeah.
Because of course you're gonna have disagreements, but then like, hey, we go in, we talk about them during this date night, and actually we were on the same page, or we just need to figure it out. Yeah. Either agree to disagree or figure out what you want to do in that situation. And sometimes you can't wait 3 months to discuss something.
Right. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely times you can talk.
Yeah. Like, it
Evenings.
doesn't mean you have to wait for
I
that.
normally go to bed a little earlier because I got to get up early. But yeah, there's
that's-
definitely times we can
yeah.
talk. No.
Yeah. Hey, Shady, 3 months ago, I needed to put the milk away, and it's not good anymore.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to create conflict in
Yeah.
front of the kids, but
Yeah.
it's in the cupboard. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So spiritual relationship and goals.
Yeah. So I've been reading the Bible in 1 year on the Bible app on your phone. And my goal for this year is to do it in the Bible, actually.
Like not on your phone.
Yeah.
Physical Bible. Yeah.
Because on the phone, there's distractions. And if you pick up that Bible, you know what you're holding. It's the Bible. And
Sacred, yeah.
I saw Charlie Kirk talked about that. And so I thought, one thing I can do in remembrance of him is read the Bible in the Bible in a year. So that's one of my goals for this year. The spiritual.
Yep, and mine would be dedicated prayer time and Bible reading before the children wake up. So, I mean, we had phases where our son didn't sleep in, and then he did sleep in, but then we had another baby, and she doesn't sleep in, and so it seemed like my devotional time was limited to 1 verse. Like, the Bible app reminds me every day to at least read 1 verse, which sometimes, like, that's what you have to do as a mom. And my devotions would consist of their Bible, their children's Bibles, still good, still learning stuff, still being humbled, still having prayer time with the children, but like I really feel like in my life I need that personal too, and I just want to get back to that and get back on track with that.
Yeah, that's good. I was talking to the guy that owns Cove Mountain Wood,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Schweigert?
I don't know.
Evan?
Yeah. He was saying about like that's something they try to focus on. He tries to focus on is having more time to read the Bible, because I feel like that's another thing with life and everything. It's like you get so busy, and it's like it's so hard to make time. So do I make time to go to the gym? Do I make time to make food? Do I make time? And it's like you try to put it off, like reading your Bible and stuff. But again, like you got to remember what we're here for. Like that is the most important thing. Like at the end of the day, it's either you're going to heaven or hell, and it's hopefully heaven, because if not, it's like forever. So it's like, yeah.
And how much better do you feel when you prioritize that anyway?
Yeah.
You don't have that like little voice telling you, like, you should read your Bible, you should read your Bible. Like if you do it, you feel so much better and so more fulfilled.
Yeah. So we're doing a year in the Bible with our gym. So
Okay.
like
Cool.
they started like a little Bible study thing, and there's like a book to follow along with. So I started listening to it like through the truck throughout the day, just because there's a lot to read to get it in like a year.
Yeah.
So that's something that's a bit different, is like driving and listening to the Bible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's still good. It's still like you'll be surprised the more that you do that. You'll pick up like you'll be able to pull out verses or pick up things and be like, hey, I know that, or this is how I can relate it to my life.
Yeah, and I've never done anything like it. So
Yeah.
I read the Bible through the whole time, but it probably took me 3 years, because I would just like read 2 chapters a day or 3, whatever. And it's different listening to it, because like you said, you hear different things that you might skip over when you read. Because I have a hard time when I read to like, so like what did I read? Like,
Yeah, me
and when
too.
you're listening to it, which I thought would be hard with the Bible, because it's like very like, a lot of it's just like not that exciting. It's just like whatever. But they actually do a decent job with making it sound like you're like a book.
Yeah. For sure.
And then also for family. So this is one category where we would throw in some family, like how can we do better with the children in the spiritual aspect. So we do, pray with them. We read their Bible with them, and all of that kind of stuff, take them to church. But I would say our goal for this year, or like right now, is to point out God in every little part. Like, hey, you're, walking outside. Like, we already do this with our children, but our son will say, God painted a beautiful sky tonight, for the sunset, and just more things like that. Like, how can we always point to give God the glory?
Yeah, and he goes to Christian school,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Private
Yeah.
Christian school.
Yeah, which is a big thing.
Yeah. Very, very happy so far.
Yeah, because like I didn't go to public school growing up. Like I went to a Christian school. I don't know if it really affected me. Like I don't know, because I never went. Like
Right.
did it make me a better person? I don't know. But yeah, just like some of the stuff that Haley says, like these 6th graders say and do, and like that's when I transferred from public or Christian to public with 7th grade. So like,
Right.
and like I don't know, maybe it's because I was at a Christian school, and it's like, I guess you're not as bad, but I feel like it's not. You're still 6, whatever age when you're 6.
Yeah.
Like you're still a bad kid. Like
Yeah.
you're not like more holy.
No.
But
Yeah.
just some of the stuff they say, I'm like, that is mind. Like never even crossed my mind at that age, or I don't know. I also think the phone plays a bigger role.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not that old, but phones and stuff weren't that big when I was in 6th grade.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I didn't
I
even have a phone until I was maybe a freshman in high school. I had like an iPod, but you had to have Wi-Fi. And like I don't even know if our school had Wi-Fi, so there was like no, like you know what I mean, like. And then as you're riding home in the van, so there's so much time where you couldn't be like on your phone watching TikTok, like that didn't even
Right.
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah. That's something we'll have to endure as our children
Yeah.
get older.
Right.
So
Yeah. So do you know when you're gonna give him a phone? I feel like
would
that's a
say
big topic.
16 probably, because
Driver's
yeah,
license
you don't
comes
really
with a
need
phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we're gonna send him on the road by himself,
Yeah.
of course I'd want him to have a
Yeah.
phone. Now, will it have parental locks?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I think Haley was the one that told me about it, but I guess Verizon or like phone companies, you can put on there something where they only get so much time on
Right.
something,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and it just like
Yeah.
locks up. You're
Right.
done.
Yeah.
Which I think that's cool.
Yeah, they need a password to,
Yeah.
to go follow.
Yeah.
You can still get to like your messages and phone call
Yeah.
and Google Maps.
Like the
but
important stuff.
That's it.
Yeah.
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 And the rule will probably be that the parent has access to it at any time to look at anything.
Yeah, that's how it was
You
with
shouldn't
my...
have anything to hide.
It was awful. That's how it was with my mom. Every night, I wasn't allowed to go in my bedroom with my iPod. I always had to sit it. Now my sister could go in her room with her iPod. But anyway, so I always sat it on there. I remember one time I came home, and I was in high school at this point in time. I was maybe a freshman or sophomore, freshman, because Rich just got his license, and we're going around. We're driving down through Altoona, blaring 0 to 100 by Drake. I put it like on my Snapchat story, and she saw it, freaked out. But no, I think it's different sometimes when you talk to people, because I'm like my parents were pretty strict growing up, so it's like obviously I still did a lot of things like everyone else does, but I don't know. It's just different upbringings make things different for other people.
Yeah.
One thing I'm gonna have to practice is my reaction. Like, I think children really feed off of reaction.
Yeah.
Like, we know that our children are not gonna be perfect. That's okay. But like, how you react to them, if you're mad, they're never gonna want to be open and tell you about it.
Yeah.
If they're gonna get like huge, harsh punishments.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna talk to them about it and give them like realistic consequences that make them think about it, I think hopefully their foundation will want to still continue to turn towards Jesus and not away from him.
Yeah.
And feel like the Christian life means that you have to do everything perfect.
Yeah. I think that's a big one. Because, like, are they going to want to call you when they're in a situation where they messed up? Or are they going to try to hide it because they're scared? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
because I would never call my parents. Like, if I was ever at a party, I'd no way in the world would I have ever called them and been like, hey, I need picked up.
Yeah.
Like, would not have happened.
Yeah.
Like, like, I might as well just walk him. But
Another thing, too, is like, just because we're sending him at a Christian school does not mean we think that's for everyone. Like Tyler said, this is uniquely for us. You know, take your book advice, take your podcast advice, use it what is going to work in your family.
Yeah.
Same
Some people
thing.
think homeschooling's better, or
And I think God speaks to us all with individual plans for our lives. So yeah, homeschooling is better for some. If that is what God told you, that is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
If God told you that to send your child to public school, that is what God told you specifically. The important thing is you're talking to God and asking him what he wants for your life and what your child can handle and where he wants your child to be. You know, they are not our children, they are God's children.
yeah. So, romance.
Yeah. Won't get in on that one a whole lot. But, we talk about love languages, making sure they're all met. And I think that's a good one.
Yeah. Like, romance is just not all about, like, the sexual level of it. Of course, like, God made that for man and woman, you know, husband and wife.
It says man needs to please his wife, and the wife needs to please the man.
Yeah. So, but...
I stand on that.
But, well, yeah, like, you know, one thing, like, yes, this is made by someone not out of the Bible, but the love language is... It just covers so much and is so good. Like, his love languages would be words of affirmation and acts of service, and mine would be more quality time and physical touch. And it's kind of funny because we've been doing this for 3 years, and just the other day when we did this, we're like, some of this stuff has been on our list since day one. Like, hey, like, rub my back, you know, without being asked, like, for 3 to 5 minutes, you know, every now and again.
Sounds awful.
You know, like, just while I'm sitting at the counter, maybe, you know, eating a snack or something or reading a book. Or he would be like, hey, I would love the dishes done every day when I come home, even if the rest of the house is a mess or nothing better taken care of. And for some reason, I couldn't do that. You know, now I'm trying to do better. It's like hitting me. Like, okay, we've been doing this for 3 years now. We should be able to hit these. But, yeah, it's not natural. Like, we think that, oh, it's, you know, natural to get married and please each other, and it'll just come naturally. You know, when you're younger, before you're married, it's like this fairy tale. Like, I'll become a mom, and it'll be so easy. It'll be the best thing ever. Marriage will be the best thing ever. But it's work. Like, we live in a sinful world, and it is work. Like, God says we will have to work. And so marriage is, another thing that you have to work in.
Thanks to Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Way to go.
So, yeah.
And then, so down here you have weekly stuff. So this, go over your schedule for the week,
Yep.
and then just your budget.
Yep.
We touched on that. But
Yep.
Yeah.
So we get out our planner. Usually it's Monday. And just write down, like, hey, what's your work schedule? Like, he has set hours that he knows he's going to have to work. I might have, like, a mom's group that I'm going to, or, like a parent-teacher meeting, that kind of stuff. We just explain what's on our schedule, and then we fill in where we can. Like, if his goal is to work out 3 times a week, you know, that's going to get filled in after the things that have to be done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my life is schedule. It's got to be on the schedule. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I pretty much put everything on a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My golf goes on there. My workouts go on there. If I go hunting, it goes on there. My work schedule's on there.
So-
if I spend time with the kids, it's got to be on there.
What do you do when you go outside of their scheduled time? Or don't you really do times? You just schedule things.
Right. Well, there are times where like work might go wrong or this or that'll go wrong.
But say golf. So
Yeah.
just for an evening. Say you get off work at say 4 or something.
Right.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna go golf for 2 hours till 6.
Right.
And then I'll spend from 6 to 8 with my kids. And
Right.
then 8.
Dinner.
Yeah. Dinner. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
go to bed. Well, what happens when you go golfing? You meet someone. You start talking to them. Next thing you know, it took you 2.5 hours.
Try not to let that happen. I normally say I got to go. Like
Yeah.
I've already played where I didn't get all the holes in because I leave. Or like just for instance, this Tuesday, normally it's my golf day. I try to be at the golf course by 2. And a funeral party of 30 walked in at 1:30. Like I just didn't get my golf in. Like I cut out the golf. But
Did we pick though another day? There was something like.
sometimes I'll try to add
Yeah.
it. Friday would have been better, but then weather was not good
Yeah,
that day.
that's
But
what
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
I think I had to do.
So there's
something
some
Friday.
flexibility there, but there is times where stuff goes long or this or that happens. Or,
Yeah. And that goes back to having intention.
yeah,
Because I know for me personally, like, okay, so I go to the gym, I want to be done by 6.
Yeah.
So many times I'm not done by 6. And then it bothers me because, like, now, like, we've written down from, like, 6 to 7 is, like, when we'll eat, like, we'll have dinner together. And, like, that's supposed to be time then where it's just, like, no phones, like, focus
Yeah.
on eating and talking.
yeah,
Well, but then what the issue is, like, okay, well, I need to post something. So then I'm, like, trying to get that in quick before we eat, or, like,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, things change all the time. It's like, okay, well, now we're, like, 30 minutes late, or if I get called out for work.
yeah.
It's like, okay, well, now, like, dinner is real fast, and I'm trying to do the stuff that I need to do during dinner
Right.
because, like, now my time from, say, 7 to 9 or 7 to 9 is working on whatever I'm trying to work on. Well, now that shrinks, and
Right.
it's like,
It's not going to be perfect every time.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
thing of it is if you didn't live it with intention, like it's not going to happen at all.
Yeah.
So at least if you try to have the intention of it, this is what it's going to look like, you can get through
Yeah.
and
And
at
you-
least get 90% of the stuff you want to do.
And you put on the most important first, and then fill
Yeah.
in after that. So, like for golf, if say Tuesday didn't work, it's like, well, hey, we have a chiropractor appointment on Thursday. We're not going to get home anyway till 5:30. Can you maybe leave work 1 hour early and go, and then be home still at the same time? Or if you can't be home at 5:30, I'm going to make supper anyway from 5:30 to 6:30. Can you make it home for supper? Because we do try to prioritize supper together every night that he's home. There's 2 nights of the week he works through supper, but besides that, we
and you
try to
guys normally eat at the dinner table together, like dinner.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you're not,
sit down
because I know,
and eat dinner.
some families, they're like, I don't know, eat in different bedrooms and stuff.
No.
Yep, we've always had it that way where we eat together and put our phones away.
Yeah.
At least try.
Yeah, I like it that way too. Like,
Yeah.
we always ate dinner growing up together.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Same.
Yep.
never like get dinner, especially growing up and like you said, like what 12, like once you become like teenagers and you're in high school and like you have friends, you want to do other things, like that might be your only hour with your kids and your family, like everyone
Yeah.
there.
Right.
And like I do think what happens is like you start getting too cool for your parents, so like you want to get away from them, and then you get to the point where it's like now, and it's a little different for you because your parents live right over the hill, but
Right.
still, like it's not like you're hanging out with them every day.
No.
You get to a point where it's like you want to spend more time with your
Sure,
parents
yeah.
because you realize like
Mhm.
they're going to die,
Yeah.
and it's like it's kind of weird. Like you go through that stage where it's like
Mhm.
you're too busy for them, and then it's like then you come back around. But it's
You
also a
realize
different
they're-
aspect now because you're an adult and like you make your own decisions, and it's more like I guess it comes more back to like a friendship than
Mhm.
a parent.
Yeah.
Parent,
You want their wisdom now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And their
it
money.
comes around.
What?
They're
Yeah.
pretty cool again, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah. All right, so Tyler, you ready to dive deeper
Yeah.
into business stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
We'll
so
make it happen.
yeah,
One thing I would do really quickly want to mention is that whenever we were reviewing this, we were just talking about marriage and stuff, and that it's not about balance. So, for instance,
you said it's not about balance.
no, it's not about balance. So I think sometimes in life, people think that vacations have to like be perfectly balanced, or like, you know, if your finances, like you make 50%, I make 50%, business is 50%,
Yeah.
50%, parenting should be 50-50. Like, we don't look at it as that. We look at it as what are our goals, and it's not 50-50. Like, just personal goals. He wants to golf and have a hobby all the time. I don't need a hobby. Like, but when I say, hey, I'm
You have
overly
hobbies.
yeah, but I don't have to do something every week. There's not
Right.
one thing that I put on the schedule every week to do for myself.
Gotcha,
Like,
yeah.
but if I'm like, hey, I'm a little stressed out, I want to get my nails done, maybe once a month or once every other month, or go out for lunch with a friend, like I would expect him, or like, and I shouldn't say expect, I know he's going to, but like let me have that time. But you know, for him, it's important that he has a hobby that he does, whether it's once a week or fitness goals, and that he meets them where I'm not like, oh, well, I don't get to do that. I'm going to pick something just because you have something. It's like, no, right now my important role is to be the mom and to be home with the children. So that doesn't look realistic for me. But he makes the money. He works really hard. So I think he deserves that. And yeah, just in every area, like it's not about 50-50 and about balance in a marriage. It is, what are your goals? Does that make everyone happy? And then go from there.
Yeah. So I heard something before. It's like you can't give 100% towards your business. You can't give 100% towards your
Yeah.
family, 100% towards like a fitness goal. Like you said, like
Yeah.
you can, it's almost like 40 this, 50 that, 30 this,
Yeah.
which I feel like you somewhat do. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
obviously
sure.
business is, I don't know, but obviously you have to have a business. You have to make
Mhm.
money. So that's
Yeah.
going to be kind of your main priority. And obviously family and God and that kind of
Yes.
stuff. I think you said something to me one day. It was like God, family. I forget what the other thing was.
Business, yeah.
Yeah. Like in that order, which
Sure.
is like something that's like a good order to have it in. Because if you start getting stuff the other way, it's like,
And it's not easy.
yeah,
That's not easy.
yeah. So
But I think marriages come to conflict because they think that way. Like men and women think that it needs to be about balance, that it needs to be fair. Like I think a lot of people these days think things need to be fair, and it doesn't. Like, yeah.
you're submissive to Tyler.
Yeah. Hey, I would say like okay, it does say that like the man should be the head of the
Yeah.
household, and he is, but he also trusts me. Like it's about being loving. Like it says about love and respect, right? The man needs respect, so you're going to be submissive to him, but he's tender. Like he's going to be tender to me and love me, and also respect me too, like in a loving way.
So how do you think Satan tries to affect your relationship? Because I heard something the other day, or maybe it was a Bible study. They were saying like Satan doesn't want marriage, like doesn't want to see two people come together. And someone said something because like now instead of like one person, now it's two together, and like now you're both fighting Satan.
Yeah.
So like how do you, or have you noticed anything like whether it's, I don't know, like certain things that you like, okay, I can tell like Satan's trying to intervene to make our marriage fall apart.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Like, there's different aspects to that. Like, what could he do to make it where, things do fall apart, like maybe make it work. Communication might be tough, or, just the small things or something like that. But yeah, he's definitely lurking around the corner. But I can't think of an incident.
I
right
think
off
because we're at the point in our lives where we're so intentional with things and communicating, we can kind of stop it pretty quickly. Like maybe it is something that's kind of a little pesky for a couple months until we finally go and have a date night and like reconnect again. Just even with the busyness of life. I mean, being busy seems like it's one of Satan's tools.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Just not getting our date nights in or being busy.
Yeah.
Um,
Making us try to forget our date nights and stuff. But
break down communication.
yeah, and if we don't spend our time with God.
Yeah,
so like
for
there's
sure.
a little like there's a diagram of like a triangle, and it's like God's at the top, and then here's you and your spouse, and the closer you both get to God, the closer you are together too. So I would notice like when we spend more of our time with God and work on ourselves too separately, that's when it's gonna bring us together.
Yeah. And go into the marriage knowing like we're not getting divorced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Can't-
like
it's
that's
not an
Yeah,
option.
it's
Yeah.
not even an option. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like, I mean, obviously with society nowadays, divorce is like basically like, oh, I broke up with my girlfriend kind of stuff. Like
Mhm.
people get divorced left and right.
Yeah.
And it's, again, like it goes back to the Bible. It's like if we were more godly people, like you would know, like we shouldn't get divorced. But I do think, again, like with everything that you said, like being busy, social media, like you look on social media and you can see 20 girls that are hotter than your wife, and then you start thinking like, oh, maybe I could get this girl or something. You know what I mean? Like just
Wow.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff. Well, it's true. Like
Yeah, I
with
get it.
social
Yeah.
media,
Yeah.
and then like on top of that, then you have like pornography. So like then you
Yeah.
get into pornography,
Wow.
and it's like people aren't even having sex with their wives because they can't fulfill their sexual fantasies. And it's like, okay, well, this isn't real over here. But it's one of those things. It's like Satan is using to get you distracted.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's one reason I don't like Snapchat. It's like if you scroll over to like the
Yeah.
right side, they get put.
Yeah.
And no matter how many I put down there, like this is not for me,
Yeah.
they still keep bringing them back.
Yeah.
And that's why I just turned off all notifications.
Yeah.
I hardly ever use the
And
app.
I believe Satan's behind that. Like,
Oh,
there's no
yeah.
way in the world he's not behind, putting that on your feet or trying to tempt you with those certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simple.
Definitely not God. That's
Simple.
for
So
sure.
it still goes back to being intention. Like, if you're going to intentionally talk to your spouse about all these areas of life, it's going to probably get brought up. But if you're just rolling with life, like he said, living life without intention, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So just be ready to discuss any little thing. And, the closer you are, the less things are going to be awkward when you talk about them. You're not going to get as feisty back and forth when you talk about them because it's normal. You are used to communicating.
Yes. So we're going to put this in the show
Yeah.
notes. And obviously, so if anyone wants to use it, they can use it.
Customize it yourself. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a PDF as well. Like you sent me a PDF, Tyler did. So I could also send a PDF to whoever wants it and then
Yeah.
go from there. Make it more fancy if you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
It's
Tyler,
not hard. It's easy.
Yeah, we would
Do it.
hope that everyone would, whether they use this or not, that they would just want to improve their communication, their marriage, because we think that will improve everything in their life if you improve communication.
Yeah. And I think living with intention. It's
Yeah.
a good title.
Thank you.
Intention with everything
Yeah.
in life, whether it's business, God,
You know,
fitness.
And this we just started 3 years ago, so it's not like we've been doing this our whole marriage. Like, we had a little bit more conflict at certain parts of our marriage and didn't have a plan, so yeah, it would cause tension for longer than we would have liked. And
Yeah.
this really helps. So.
All right, Tyler. So what's it like to be the owner of Traditions? Anything really change?
Yeah. A lot inside my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I worked here for 18 years. You show up, you do your job, you go home, you train people, you work with people, and you make sure that they know what to do and all that. But something just whenever you bought it and it's yours now, it just changed inside your brain. And I struggled with it for a couple months, and I just prayed about it. And God's put it to rest now. I feel a lot better. But just this stress of trying to do what's best for the customer and the staff, that's what you really want, and trying to make sure everything goes the way it should, so. But yeah, it's changed a lot.
Have you owned it? How long?
A year.
A year.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest things that you've learned?
Well, I've ran it for my father for like 8 years. He's never worked in the business. He's always had his own business that he worked for. Now, in the earlier years, he'd come by on the weekends and help out, get things going, and making sure everything was going on okay. But he would still do the meetings, the quarterly meetings, and so forth. So he'd sit in on those. But what's changed is just not as much goes through my father, like big decisions. I would just go and say, hey, this is what's going to happen now. The P&L has changed a little bit. I watch the P&L a lot more than I used to. Just want to make sure we got a good grasp on that, making sure that all the numbers are working for you and not against you, all that kind of
Should
stuff.
Explain to someone who doesn't know what P&L stands for.
Profit and loss statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's changed.
So I think Case told us one time that Sheets has a innovation department, and like their goal is to put Sheets out of business.
Right.
Have you like tried to implement that at all into Traditions?
Yeah, I want to make sure we stay relevant. I don't want to make sure we don't just, you see some of these mom and pops that were great 30 years ago, and they just didn't evolve with the times. And I think we're doing a great job at that. Right now I'm looking into a new computer system where I may upgrade just the operating in a restaurant. I've been working with 3 different computer systems trying to find what's best. I don't want to go backwards. I only want to change once. And there's really no clear path yet. I really don't know which one's better because some of them do this well, but then they may have downtime, which in a restaurant industry, you cannot have downtime. I mean,
You mean like software reboots and like that kind of stuff?
just like, or like just can't communicate with the server and it's just down.
Yeah.
Like everybody's running around with pen and paper and slapping orders down, handwritten. It's
Yeah.
a mess.
Yeah. When we were in Utah, that happened it was like a bar restaurant.
Yeah.
So like that, and no one could pay with a card.
Yeah.
And it's like, the one person's like, all right, we'll be back in like an hour or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what do you do now? And like, especially in like a very like cashless society,
Yeah.
it's like, that's a major, it's either you're basically giving people free food and being like, have a nice day, or wait around.
Yeah, or your staff is just putting the money in their pocket, and then like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, we're gonna run these through. You know, we've lost some power here sometimes. We're pretty rural here.
Yeah.
Lose some power and the systems goes down. You have guest dining. You got to finish those out and stuff like that. We do have some systems where we work that through. We have systems in place that there's a power outage. Everybody knows this is what happens. You write down the orders, write down the price. But one thing that happens if there's a power outage, no new customers come in. So it is hurting business. But over the years, that might happen once or twice a year. It's not often.
And then for people who don't know, your business is, I don't know how to describe it, but like it's different than most businesses because you guys wear, well, the girls wear dresses with aprons.
Right.
I guess why do they do that?
Well, that's just part of the uniform. It's just like when you walk into Chick-fil-A, they all wear those polos.
Yeah.
Or that's just our uniform. We are trying to show the area what home-cooked food is like. We are a scratch kitchen. We're making a lot of things from a bag of flour, blocks of butter, sugar, and all that kind of stuff.
So like going to your grandma's house kind of
yeah,
vibe. Like,
grandma's recipes,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
my entire goal. Like, I don't want that sausage gravy poured out of a can. I want that sausage gravy brown in the bottom of the pot. You add, the ingredients, and you make a good meal. That pancake batter's, we know every ingredient that's in there. We put it all in there. And, the ham pot pies, full hams going in the oven, coming out, pulling apart. We're making potatoes and ham and noodles, and we're making all that stuff. That's what we're all about. And so Pennsylvania Dutch is where we're from. That's what we grew up. And so that's just what we're trying to, and the uniform is just part of the vibe. You walk in here, you get grandma's cooking, home cooked food, and then you get the experience with it.
Have you ever had anyone like you hire, like they obviously, I guess, know when you hire them,
Yep.
like, hey, this is what you got to wear?
Yep, it's right in
And
the interview
they're
process.
just like,
You're wearing a dress and apron, you okay with that? And
Yeah.
If they say no, they're not getting the job.
do you provide the dress? And,
Yeah.
okay.
They go through a fitting,
Yeah.
get 2 dresses and 2 aprons at no cost. They get the fitting, we make them.
Over there.
Local seamstress down the road makes
Oh,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's it like having mainly your work employees be like high school age, college age,
Sure.
with reliability?
Sure. We only hire the best ones. I think every generation has that person that's not really willing to work, and I like to try to chase crazy or lazy out of the building. A lot of my hires are done through referrals. Hey, we only want the good referrals. Try to do an interview. The interviews, you can tell somebody anything you want in an interview, but we try to be upfront. This is what we expect. We want to make sure this is what's going to happen when you get hired here and all that kind of stuff. So I have some of the youngest, hardworking people in the area, I believe it. I have some great ones, 16, 17-year-olds just coming in here and just rolling up their sleeves, getting to work, making it happen. I have some really good, hardworking young people.
And like pay-wise, are you always trying? Everyone says we're going to give you competitive pay, but
Right.
like, are you trying to obviously make sure that they're getting paid?
Sure. Yeah,
well?
I mean, minimum wage in Pennsylvania is $7.25.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I make.
Yeah. You need a job?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I try to start everybody. If you never had a job before, we have a pay start that we start you at, and then we go from there. If I start losing people, I got to look around and see what other people are paying, make sure that we're competitive. But I'd say we're very competitive or better than the competitors in restaurant work.
Yeah. So I personally think owning a restaurant would be one of the hardest businesses to own.
Yeah.
Especially, like, there's so much that could go wrong.
Sure.
Like, obviously, like, when I cook chicken, it's either, like, burnt or it's not cooked enough.
Right.
So you have that aspect. Obviously, you have to have, like, good food.
Right.
And, like, obviously, if you do it a lot, you're going to get good at it. But then on top of that, then you have employees you have to have show
Sure.
up. And I feel like it'd be a very stressful, because when you're like, for me, I hate relying on people for things.
Right.
And then when you have to rely on people, because not only are they the ones cooking the food for you and then serving it, it's
Right.
like, and then on top of that, they're not, some of them aren't that mature.
Right.
And yeah, I think it'd be a very stressful.
Yeah, some of them
And-
say if you can run a restaurant, you can pretty much run any business.
Yeah.
And yeah, just having the processes put in place, making sure everybody knows this is our standard. Respect is the bare minimum. You know, you respect your coworkers. We get along here. We want to make sure this is what our standards are. You have to follow those. That's my job. Just trying to make sure everybody's following the standards, making sure they're respecting people and doing what they need to do. And it's not always easy, and some days I go home and I don't feel like I have the answers, you know, but just continue to work on it.
And are you implementing test projects? Like that's your thing now, or have you not done
Yeah,
that yet?
so I want to get better at hiring new staff, like understanding, like, hey, like, here's some videos, here's what we expect, and that is the bare minimum. I don't have that in place yet, but we are. That's on the goals. That's on the sheets. After new computer system, our goal is to go into that. I want to video some staff showing what it needs to look like, and then that is the standard. Like, and then just putting processes in place, making it aware this is scalable, possibly another location, or hey, I may want to step out and do something different. Who knows? I really don't know what I want to do after the restaurant life, but maybe we can just continue to make more. But I do know the way I'm involved in the business now, I do have to get more scale put in place, just more processes, for sure.
Yeah, I've heard a quote before. It's like, your company either thrives or fails off of your processes and systems.
Sure.
And I think that's the way anything in life is. Like, if you don't have good processes and systems,
Right.
how would it succeed?
Yeah, for sure. So if you're, for instance, like my processes and systems might be me. Like that is the processes and systems. That's not a great one, because what if I need to step out?
Yep. Or you die.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Because like, I mean, dying is extreme, but I'm
Right.
just saying, like, if you die, you still have a family here.
Right.
And it's like, well, now what do they do now? Because
Right.
it's like, like you said, if you had it running to where it's like they don't really need you, which, like, obviously you want to feel like you want to be needed. But I mean, it's not like a process and system on a computer is going to sell your job. Like that's
Right.
to help to benefit you. So maybe you could take more vacations.
Right.
That's
yeah,
what I was
more
gonna say.
time.
Yeah.
Like instead of dying, like can we just take
Yeah,
like a month,
yeah.
cool month vacation
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
And I did do some of that last year. I took the longest vacation I've ever taken and had no interruptions, which was quite rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to add too. He says like the bare minimum is for respect from what he expects of his employees, but also I would say he is very respectful to his employees. Some of them have become like family, and I think that helps like hold on to your employees.
Yeah, we feel like a big family.
Yeah.
Big work
Yeah.
family. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. No
We care
kidding.
about each other and
And
take
we
care
have
of each
Christmas
other.
parties and
Work events and stuff.
yeah, work events
picnics
and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know that many people that own restaurants, but I will say, like, when I first met you guys, all of your friends either worked at Traditions or still did.
Right.
And it's like, how often do you actually see that, like,
Yeah.
outside of work? Like, it's like that
And
your friends.
it's changing a little bit, because at that time I was that age.
Yeah.
And like now it's like, okay, now they're,
Yeah,
you know,
they're younger than we
they're
are.
16,
Yeah.
half my age.
Yeah. Yeah. It might get a little awkward now.
Yeah.
But no, you're still good with like your
Yeah.
your picnics, like you said, and like you
Yeah.
guys like do scavenger hunts and like, yeah, like you said.
Did
like-
Amazing Race this year, a small one, but we did one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raced around town,
Yeah.
competed to bring home the prize. It was a cool time.
Who won?
4 girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two
Alright.
groups of sisters.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah.
So how did you guys get in the Airbnb business?
Sure. Well, like I said, when she quit nursing, I was like, okay, I was thinking about grabbing a part-time job. I didn't really like that, because I didn't want to do more in the restaurant world, because it just seemed like more work in the restaurant world just didn't really feel enticing and all that kind of stuff. I was already doing some retail work on the side in clothing, and so just like, how else can we get something that she can do and I can do at the same time? And we just happened to have a property that came up beside our house that was vacant, and I just reached out to the owners like, hey, any chance I can put that on Airbnb? I'd take a certain percent of the profits, and you take a certain percent of the sales. And they were nice enough to agree to do it, and that's how we started.
So what made you think of Airbnb? Like, what,
My brother-in-law was doing one.
okay. And now you have 3 Airbnbs, right?
Yep.
So you kind of expanded pretty quick for, so, I mean, what was that, within 2 years? You have 3?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years? So
Yeah.
1 a year, basically?
Sure. Yeah.
And obviously they're profitable.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that they're bringing in some money, but they're not like the one is we bought a bunch of land with it, so it's just basically making it where I can grow in some real estate, like I can invest in real estate without taking out of my personal finances. So like we have a property that it's a partnership with my brother and my uncle, and it brings in some income on Airbnb, and then I don't have to put a whole lot of money back into it. So it's actually an investment, but it's a nice real estate investment.
So what do you think Mennonites do different than, like, say, an average person? Because I feel like when you see successful, like, around here, like,
Right.
obviously, like, this is pretty prominent for, like, Mennonites and
Right.
stuff. But you always see, usually, like, these successful businesses, they're, like, Mennonites, or, like, everyone's like, get the Mennonites, they do good work.
Right.
It's like, what do you think they're doing different that's, like, makes their businesses succeed?
Sure.
Other than, obviously, like, God is
Right.
involved.
Yeah, they're faith-based, but one thing, they're very hardworking. Most of them would be dependability. It's just like anybody else. They might not show up when they said they will, but dependability, getting the job done. And I would say, like, they probably don't live with a lot of distractions. You know, most of them don't have TVs, cell phones. They might for the job or whatnot, but it's just for work. They're just not getting distracted with the day in and day out. And they're not afraid to work that long work day and just putting in the work and making it happen. They just raised to work.
I think they only take Sunday off. Some of them don't even take Saturday off.
Right. A lot of them will
And-
work 5 days,
Yeah.
and then they might do, if they're the business owner,
Yeah.
they might do the quotes for the next job in construction on Saturday, or, build out the plans for the next project and stuff like that. They're just very, very aggressive go-getters, and yeah, some of them would just underprice you just to get the job, and then just work their way to a profit almost. Like they might work for less than an hour.
Now, do you think it has anything to do with the banks? Like, don't the church is the bank for the businesses? So, like, right? Isn't that how it works in some Mennonite?
Well, some, like grandparents, when they moved here, like say, for instance, in this Cove area, a lot of them moved here in the 70s and bought farms for whatever, an acre, and then they can sell them for, like, I don't know, 10 times that in 2020. And so, like, they make the money, and it's just a long-term investment. Now they have the money, and now they can give it to their kids and so on. So
Yeah.
they just play as the bank, and they make the interest off of that, and they live off the interest.
Yeah.
And so, and then, like, for their health care, it's a great idea. Like, they just, on Sunday mornings, say how much they have in health care debt, and everybody tithes and or gives towards that, and they have money to pay for their health care. It's an amazing system. They just support each other. Like, a lot of their friend groups, that's just the Mennonites. Like, that's just who they mostly hang out with. Like, they go to church together, and they hang out together. A lot of them are family.
Yeah, like a big community that helps everyone
Yeah.
out. I mean, you've seen, like, Amish people, like, they'll pick up a whole entire barn and
Yeah,
like,
move
move
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So when you owned rentals,
Mm-hmm.
obviously that was, I guess, yes, everyone wants to get into rentals, but it's not as pretty as it, I guess,
No.
looks on the outside.
Yeah, so I bought a rental in 2014, and then I used it month-to-month rental. And one thing, when I didn't really know what I was getting into, thankfully I had a business friend that knew how to do some. He gave me his contract, but you basically have to make sure that you follow your agreement. Like, if that tenant is not following that agreement, you got to confront them and let them know, like, hey, you're not doing what the lease agreement says. You're going to have to get out. And that was my mistake. I was too nice. I just let them kind of run me over, and pretty soon I wasn't getting paid, and they had issues, I had issues, and just not for me. I'm not hard knock, where I say, this cannot happen in my rental property. You need to get out. And it just led down to
The house got destroyed a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, the house was destroyed, completely destroyed, needed to fully gut. And now that's one of our Airbnbs, but yeah.
This is jumping back into business, but to a lot of times to grow your business, like you have to hire people that do certain things better or know more in certain aspects. Like you hire them because they're better at it.
Right.
Because like obviously you're not the best at whatever finances, promoting. Have you ever obviously you have an assistant and like people that run like the staff and stuff, but
Sure.
have you looked into, I don't know, whatever your next goal is, like maybe you need to hire someone to help grow the business?
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely different aspects of things you can look at, like how do you grow the business, how do you get better, where do you buy back some of your time. And yeah, I have looked at like maybe an assistant. I'm not really sure what I would get them to do yet. I'd have to get that kind of out. But whenever I do start in placing some of these systems that I want to do, some of my goals of hiring people, I'd like to get an assistant that can put these videos together, get them in this app that I have that is then going to go to the staff when they get hired so they know how to get in it. And I want to be able to see, hey, did they watch that video? Like, you can't be on the floor working for me if you didn't watch that video, because you don't know what we're trying to get to. You don't know our processes and systems if you did not watch that video. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm taking it to where I know they got the information.
Do you have like a 10-year, 20-year, any plan for that long out?
No, I don't.
Like, yeah, I was just curious because, like, obviously as a business owner, obviously you have to take a risk to own a business.
Right.
So I think, like, me personally, it would be like the ultimate goal would be someday, whenever you decide you want to be done working, like you're done. Like,
Right.
like I'm ready just to chill.
Yeah, I don't know that I'll ever get there. Like, I do have, like, where I might want to see myself at a retirement age where I own, like, this, like, really old building that's completely remodeled, and it's got, like, upstairs, it's, like, on the side of a mountain or something. Upstairs, it's got a couple Airbnbs, and then downstairs, it's, like, one of those old traditional Airbnbs where they make you a breakfast before you leave. And, like, I want it to be, like, high end or something, like maybe I get more business owners come by and just like talk to them and just get to know them better and like just get to know people better, and like, but then by 10 a.m. I'm locking up and I can spend the rest of the day with the family or maybe playing some golf or doing what I want to. But that's a retirement plan. That's a 30-year goal.
It's strange. I heard someone say, or the guy was talking about, this is back to more like family and being intentional with things, but he sold his business and he sold it for like $300 million.
Right.
And he went back to his kids and family and was like now we can travel the world together. Mm-hmm. And his kids were like 20 years old and he's like, no, like all we wanted was a dad growing up.
Right.
And I think sometimes it's like we get so focused. It's like even with you, it's like, okay, well, in 20 years, whatever, 30 years, it's like, okay, now I'll have family time. But it's like, no, your kids won't be around.
Yeah.
It's like.
Now it's family time.
Now it's like, now you probably want to work because there's nothing else to do. Obviously, at some point in time, everyone wants to not have to do all that stress and stuff. But, yeah, I think it's just an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, sure.
I think he does good with that, making sure, like, he has a set schedule right now. Now, if something changes for a day or week, we roll with that. But he does good being intentional already. Like, he has already set in his mind at a young age, which is great that he's set to be intentional and to be home with his family. My goal for him would be to have an HR person. But he is going to have to put in more work. Like, as the wife, I need to support that if he wants that to happen, where that person is going to take over his emails, maybe take over his text messages from the call-offs, to implement those videos, he is first going to have to put in maybe extra hours. Like, he's come home late a couple of days because of trying to get a new computer system and having meetings for that. So you have to realize he's going to have some extra time at first, but then in the end goal would be he would have more time off or more free time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess ideally get into like a position of your dad who just shows up and makes sure you're hitting the numbers and it's like.
Yeah, at some point,
Is there anything else that you've ever wanted to like try, like business-wise?
I don't know what I would do. I thought if I would ever get like all the systems put in place and I replace myself, and then I would do consulting.
Yeah.
Hey, I can run this restaurant, that restaurant, and this restaurant, or this business, that business, and like retail. I've spent quite a bit of time in retail, 15 years in retail, and that's all about having the right brands to sell and having the cash to buy the brand to sell it. You know? So like, and building like the e-commerce platform and all that kind of stuff. I was involved in some of that. That was kind of my vision. I didn't do any of it, but I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Stay
I think
around.
even locally as a consultant, you could do well. Just think about how many businesses you see or you go into, and like, again, everything I do is just off saying, but like we'll go into say a business, and I'm like, I'll tell Haley, like this business isn't gonna make it. Like you can just tell the way they're like, no one here, like you come in and sit down and no one comes and says anything to you, and you're just sitting there. And it's like, okay, like maybe they will make it, but I'm just saying like certain things like that, obviously you would know if you went in a business, like like to help them fix, like, okay, you probably shouldn't be dropping food on the floor and picking it back up and serving customers. Right? Like
not.
I heard that about a business in Bedford, and I'm like, what are you doing? But yeah, just like stuff like that, I'm sure you could help businesses, or even if it's just like they have questions about certain things. It's like you're the one that has the knowledge, so that's why they would pay you. Like instead of them trying to figure it out for the next 15 years.
Right. And we hired consultants when we opened from State College.
So they're worth it.
No, those were terrible.
No.
Don't hire them.
Well, that's like mentors. Like I heard someone say, like, if you pay, I don't know, say $5,000 to a mentor, like if you can make that money back, they're worth it. Like the time is, you can't buy it. So it's so if you can learn stuff in, quicker time, it's going to benefit you.
Right. Yeah. So like buying back your time for sure. Like I might try. I'm thinking about implementing some different steps there. And first off, I got to make sure like the finances and everything are taken care of. And as soon as that, I see some of that with owning the business. So of course, when you buy a business, you take on a tremendous amount of debt. So I just want to get in a safe place there, and then I'll, say, okay, we're safe here. Things look good here financially. This makes sense. Now I can buy back some time where, maybe I get somebody to landscape my place, or maybe I get somebody to cut my grass, or do my laundry or clean my house or things like that. So I do have more time with the kids and stuff.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy, though? Everything we do is, well, especially like people like, I think us, it's always like, do. It's like I don't ever see myself ever, like retiring, like what I'm saying to you, like retiring, sitting down. Like I don't see you ever actually doing that.
No.
It's a great thought, like, because like sometimes I'm just like, man, I wish I could come home and just watch Netflix. But I think I would go insane. Like, like I think it's a privilege, and as a entrepreneur, I think it is a privilege to have something you want to go after. And it's not really that rewarding right now because like I don't see a lot of like say feedback. But I don't know.
Yeah. And for me, like if just looking in the future, like I tried some different things like podcasts. I tried some public speaking. Like I did some local things the other night, would have been a while back. But I did like the local public speaking for them, and I've done some little consulting. I've helped open up a restaurant before and stuff like that. So I think like maybe consulting is more my thing. I'm not really a public speaker. I don't really enjoy that yet. But I think you have to get comfortable in that space.
Yeah, public speaking's a tough one. I think it's like
I choke up. I
biggest fears. Yeah, and I don't know why. Yeah, because like I feel like I'm a pretty confident person, and like if I'm out, like I'll say anything to anyone.
Right.
But then you put me up there, and it's just like you start freaking out. I don't know why.
I draw a blank.
Yeah.
I forget to breathe.
Yeah. Just fall over, hit the floor.
Yeah.
That's what's that called? Icebreaker. That'd be a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
Tyler wakes up
Literally.
freaking bleeding out of his head. But this is, I guess, maybe for both of you, but like as a legacy for your kids and like as you die one day, like what would you like to be remembered as?
Sure. Yeah, God-fearing man, faith first. And then as far as business goes, like I just want to be remembered as like somebody that would treat them with respect and being honest and just giving that person the best that I can possibly give them. And I would expect that back as employing them, like making sure that they're good workers for me. But and then just like as a family man, I just want to make sure like I'm there, I'm living, I'm alive when I'm there. Like I'm actually following through the motions and stuff like that. So,
Chaydie?
I would say the same thing. I think that's why I'm to the point that I don't work. Yes, I have the boutique right now, and I do about 2 days a week with that. But I'm going to be getting rid of that as well, just to be more present with my children. Like I didn't realize, like he said, you think nothing's going to change, and then you have children, you're like, everything changes. You have to be present. You have to just be there for the child. And, 3 meals a day, 2-3 snacks a day. Then there's dishes, there's laundry, and you just don't realize that, that I need to be present as the mom. And I want to make sure that I'm apologizing when I need to apologize, like showing them Jesus through like my actions, being patient, being kind, help teach them discernment and like get their foundations, because they're with me most of the time. Now, of course, Tyler is all of those things too, but they really are with me a lot, that I need to be that good example. Fueling their bodies, because that's a temple. So the food, making sure that it's healthy, that's on the table. Getting them to church, all that stuff. It's just very important to put the children first for a while, and putting kind of us on the back burner in a way, but we're not forgetting about each other. We're still doing this. We're still being intentional. And like he said the other day, we were just talking, he said, we might not always get our date nights in, but what does it mean to still love your spouse through the busy season? Like doing the dishes for the other person when they didn't get to them, or, throwing in a load of laundry for the other person, or whatever it is. Like your end goal is to be happy, to be Jesus-centered, and to work as a team.
Yeah.
And be a family.
And like the little things you were saying earlier about Tyler gets a hobby or something, like if you don't, it's like being selfish. I think it's the same with like doing dishes, and like there's small acts. It's like, well, like you didn't do my laundry, so I'm not going to wash the dishes.
Yeah.
It's
we try to do that.
Be selfless, I guess,
Yeah.
which can be hard.
Yeah,
like
it is hard.
with everything in life,
hard.
like turn your other cheek with certain things.
Yeah.
You said the other day something that was really important. Oh, whenever we do our date nights and we go through these, like he made the decision of where Zeke went to school. Like I was just so torn, like what I wanted for him, and he stepped up and was like, this is what it is. But if something goes wrong, that does not, at the school, that does not mean I come back and go, it was your choice, you chose that, like it's all your fault. We made the agreement together, and if there's a fall, we're gonna take that together too.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. You always see people fight, like, you're the one who picked to do that, and it's like, I think, you need to remember, like, this is also something I've heard, but as like the couple, like, you're not fighting each other, you're fighting together. Like
you're fighting it, Satan.
Yeah, it's like, but if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Sure. Yeah, just to live life with more intention, making sure that, like I said, like getting to the gym, being around friends, not working quite as much, but you could change some of those things, but just be intentional with what you're doing. Want to make sure that you're living the life that you want to live.
Chaydie?
Don't be too hard on yourself, and take it day by day and situation by situation. Have people that you can look up to and bounce feedback off of, but also, yes, be intentional about it. I think that even if we are given advice that say we want to follow, it's really hard to do it before you live through it, right?
For sure.
It might not, it doesn't hit you to the core until you're going through something. So if you're truly trying to live like day by day or situation by situation, and have that good support, through people around you that you can trust and bounce, ideas off of and get wisdom from, and live with intentions, and really think deeper about like why you're here, what are your goals, but not try to get so consumed that you have to live life perfectly.
Yeah, I'll say when we like planned this to begin with, like talking relationship and stuff, I was thinking like I don't really know what I'm gonna ask or do, and like I think this was good, like this whole living with intention, because like I've said probably 10 times already, but like everything you could do with intention, and it really makes you think. And I mean I've learned, and hopefully everyone listens like benefits from it, because like so many people don't live with intention, whether it's like they don't care about God whatsoever, whatever your thing is. It's like whatever, I mean you obviously should care about God, but like whatever your thing is, it's like if you don't live with intention, next thing you know, you're going to be 50, 60 years old, and you're going to be like, where did my life go?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to have be a Christian to do this. Like we believe that yes, doing it with Christ is way better, and that He will lead us and guide us and direct us through all things, to have the most peace in our lives and to perform the best that we think we can. But you can also do this without being a Christian as well.
Yes. So like how I've ended every podcast, like how I like to end it, is I asked The guest, obviously it's both, so you both can think. Whoever wants to answer first can answer first. But what is one podcast, quote, book, someone you look up to, that you would just like to share, like that's beneficial to you, or like if it's a quote that like impacts you.
Sure.
And don't read any of the quotes that are behind it.
We gotta find one
No.
quick.
Well done is better than well said.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that should end it.
Give me a phrase.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
And Chaydie is
Yeah.
aim for success, not perfection.
Yeah, hey, that works.
But yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. One podcast that really just helped me in my life was the She podcast by Jordan Lee Doley. That was who led me to functional medicine for a doctor. That is one that's just more feminine topics. Now she's a mom too, so she has motherhood stuff. So that one really impacted me. It's a little bit of everything. So I'll give a shout out to her. And then there's another one here, like Focus on the Family. I don't listen to them as much just because I don't get to listen to podcasts as much, but I used to when Zeke would have been younger and I had more time. But that would be a great one for people who are faith-centered or maybe even starting in their faith. How would you parent with faith? How would you have a marriage with faith? They have all of those different topics on there.
But yeah, definitely the Bible. I
Yeah.
think that's a good book to read. And then I still cannot remember
That podcast.
that podcast.
We'll have to put it in the notes.
Yeah,
But
I'll give
obviously
it to
you
show
said
notes.
like CEO of a diet.
Yeah,
You
I
like
listened to that one.
but-
And Dave Ramsey's podcast, it's on business.
What's it called?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I should have wrote it down.
Yeah.
But I do listen to it.
Do you have any quotes? I feel like you're not a big quote guy.
No,
Yeah.
but life is going to happen. Live it with intention, I think is a good quote that I made up. So
Yeah.
go
On the
out-
spot?
Yeah. No, I thought about it the
Oh,
other day.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Yeah. So go out and do it.
Yeah.
Get it
I
done.
definitely think too with the Bible, I think people think that it is just history and it's boring. But every time you read it, you can learn something new, and you'll be surprised if you actually read it how much it pertains still to our lives
Yeah,
and how
I-
encouraging it can be.
It's the only book that's that old and still is like relatable
Yeah.
to today's culture.
And I think if you're a person of faith, it relates differently to you than somebody that may not be. Like I think it speaks differently to somebody that's
Yeah.
a person of faith.
It's not to condemn you. Like I think some people feel like that at first, especially if they're trying to change their life over. Right away it might just seem so condemning, but it's not. Like God has so much grace, and He just wants you to come home and live life with Him and be your friend and your father.
Yeah, and it is a lot. Like
It is.
the Bible's a lot. Like, cause like right now we're going through the Old Testament
Yeah.
and like Deuteronomy and all these things. And it's like all these laws and these things they had to do. And I could see like if you're not a Christian, you would be like, what in the world? Like, He told him to go kill his son, like
Yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's relatable. Like that's, I guess it's just more to show, in my opinion, it's to show you like all these things you had to do to be forgiven. And then obviously
Yeah.
God came, and then now you don't have to do that, or Jesus came.
Yeah.
But yeah, living with intention. What was
Yeah.
your quote? Say it again.
Life is going to happen. Might as well live it with intentions.
Yep.
That's how we're end it.
Yep.
I like it.
Thanks,
Very
Isaac.
good.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Yep.
Thank
You're welcome.
you. Thank you, Isaac.